So was she with the doctor?
I guess she did. She had to put weight on her knee, so she's down.
It's too bad.
Morning.
Morning. How are you doing this morning?
Great. About yourself?
It's Monday. It's
Very
all
good.
right. It's okay.
It's like any other day that ends in Y.
I'm just happy it's raining.
What's that?
I'm glad it's raining.
Yeah. I just wish it would rain, not just this piddly stuff we got right now.
Yeah. Get it over with and get some sun.
Morning, Todd.
Morning, Doug. Morning. Morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
Characteristic.
Memorize this.
Okay.
Explain.
I thought maybe you were gonna pass me by.
You're the one that's really getting it.
Darn. Okay, Linda is going to be present by phone. She's not weight bearing on her knee right now.
Okay.
So she's gonna call in a little after 9.
Thank you.
And I did add Rex and Larson at 2 o'clock. And from Facebook, I haven't heard from her personally, but Paula Hug said she had withdrawn. Has anyone heard from her?
Nope.
I just saw that on Facebook.
No clue.
What?
Planning Commission
Oh.
To be a candidate.
candidate. So I haven't technically taken her off of there because I haven't heard from her personally. So
Do we not have a,
I haven't tried to call her yet. I gotta wait until later in the morning.
oh, it's a fair on?
Yep.
Thank you. Oh, I could put it on. gonna have to about KU then.
Oh, well. I wore my hat and my coat.
It started off as a good game.
Yeah.
I mean, for KU, I think they
I
followed.
think they had their expectations set too high and just
Yeah.
didn't follow through.
Yeah. I watched the game off and on, not a whole lot, but.
Anyway, Dan's gonna see us. Yeah, I'm just thinking of change to purchase, so just. Yeah. All right, thank you. Bye-bye.
Right at 9 o'clock, call the meeting to order, pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Payroll. And then a letter of support. And Amy needs some disapproval, just making sure that's.
Oh, that's one that she came in late last week. Oh. Okay. All right, the payroll is for the jail, and it is in the budget. Okay.
There you go. Okay.
And we have a letter of support for Northeast Kansas Area Agency on Aging. Oh, I didn't recommend. They're working on a grant application to KDOT, and they just need our support for it. For essential transportation services to residents of Jackson County. Do we need consensus and motion?
Consensus.
Let you look at that first.
Just a grant they're gonna use for purchase
says for essential transportation,
Yeah.
so I'm guessing that's what it is for vehicles, so.
Vehicle or supports the vehicle.
Yeah, so do we need a motion or for the letter of support, or just
Yeah.
consensus? We do need a motion?
No.
No, just consensus,
Yeah.
okay. All
I
right,
agree.
I would say yes.
We will support them. Basically, we're gonna facilitate the money for them.
Right, well, that's for agency, I think that's what we've done, haven't we?
Oh.
Hold on, let me tell her back. I just want to make sure that's still correct.
Okay. Is this for a server, or is this for? It almost looks like that's what it is a server. 19 inch, 18, 5, 2019 for server. Plan switch there. Alright, so we'll hold off on that one. Oh, can I have a motion to approve the agenda as written?
So moved.
Okay, second, it's been properly moved and seconded to approve the agenda as written. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign, motion carried. And I was just looking on the KAC newsletter that we got, and they've got Operation Green Light for the veterans from 11/4 to 11/11. We've done it in the past, where we light up the courthouse in green, so we'd ask Pat to do that on those days. I think it'd be 11/4 to 11/11, November 4th to November 11th. And all the veterans of the county and surrounding counties. Linda gonna be on here soon?
She should be calling them.
Okay. That's something I wanted to talk about real quick before we get road and bridge in here.
You see the console, I guess, we can participate in or go.
The virtual console.
I thought it was out of Jackson Heights.
Well, that is just an informational meeting on the 4-lane. Yeah, now there's a virtual consult coming up also that Jonathan sent information on to all the commissioners to try to get on there. Apparently the project from 20 on up to 36 and then from 36 on up to state line has disappeared off of this year's consult. So the only one they're still talking about for sure is from Holton to 20.
Yeah,
That's it.
that's the one I was talking about.
Yeah. Yeah, and I had planned on going to that to listen and put in my 2 cents worth, so.
Did you read the whole recorder this week?
Is this Christie?
Yes.
Just
Right,
basically
let me
wondered
get
why
John's
they tried to
speaker.
spend some money to put a full-page ad in the whole recorder.
Uh-huh. And it was on Facebook and whole 9 yards, so.
What did they do?
I had Commissioner Gerhardt on the phone.
Hi, Linda.
Good morning, Linda. Don't hang up on me.
Can you hear him?
Are you there?
Good morning.
Hey, how you doing?
That's right.
I'm all right.
Good.
My name's Trish Hyde.
That's right.
Did I get you one of them knee scooters and ride around on?
I know, right.
We can get you a wheelchair.
I thought about that too.
Well, you get better, stay off of it, okay?
I will.
All right, can you hear me okay?
Hopefully after next Tuesday I'll be back.
Yep, that'll be good. All right, I did something I wanted to bring up to, well, hang on a second, Amy's here.
Sorry.
You're good. Right here.
It should be good, I think. He didn't think it would change
He just didn't want to.
in a week's time. Yeah, he didn't think it would change in a week's time.
And that's for a server?
Server upgrade,
Okay.
it should come out my capital outlay.
Okay.
Any other questions?
Thanks, so.
Nothing I can think of.
Sorry to interrupt.
I guess since you are here, how are you coming with file removal,
We're working away every day.
Okay.
We're gonna get to a slower progression because we're getting through all the files that are already built into the case management system. So we're almost back to the 2003s, and once we get there, we've got to completely build the file. So it's going to be slower progression when we get there. But we do have, I believe, 3 full shelves, both sides empty up there.
Good.
So-
Moving right along.
Yeah, so based on kind of what the judge have said about remodel and that kind of thing up there, what would be your time frame before that would be out of there? Because I've made contact with a contractor who does design build instead of hiring an architect, and I think they want to come in and take a look at it, but he's asking time frame. And just to get those files removed, are we talking a year out? We don't have the money right now.
Probably at least a year out, I would guess.
Okay.
I mean, you know, I guess if it came down to it, we would maybe ask about moving some of those older files to the grade school if that was still a possibility to get rid of them if needed.
Sure.
Because we are going to hit a slower progression period, and that's if we stay fully staffed, of course.
Sure.
So,
No, that's exactly what I was looking for. So year to 18 months. And
Probably-
it's going to
probably
take
at
us
least.
that long probably to accumulate enough money between what the judge has access to or grants or whatever and that whole thing.
Yeah.
Thank you, that helps.
Okay,
Thanks.
thank you.
All right, so what we have here is a proposal for a new server, a server upgrade for the district court in the amount of $19,385.25. This should come out of the capital outlay, he said, so I would entertain a motion to approve this quote. You want to look at it?
No, it's very similar, I'm sure, to the last one and when they've done this before, so I'm comfortable with it. They have the money to pay for it, so I would move if we approve the server upgrade as presented.
Linda, will you second?
Second, yes.
Okay, it's been properly moved and seconded to approve the server upgrade for the district court. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye, all opposed, same sign, motion carried. Okay, I got 5 minutes here before we get to Scott. So I had been doing a little looking online, and I would like for Jackson County to offer a resolution and a letter of support to Evergy to locate one of their new nuclear facilities in Jackson County. Thoughts?
Well, I guess I need to see some information on it, but.
They're a smaller footprint than Wolf Creek.
Right,
I don't know how much smaller.
right.
The facility is smaller, I know, so it's not going to be the 17,000 acres or whatever it is that Wolf Creek has.
Right. They're, from what I've been told, they're,
Yes.
what's that?
Modular.
They're a modular type unit. Yep.
Yeah, I talked to a guy who works at Wolf Creek, completely unrelated. He was just telling me about these modular devices that they're coming up with to produce electricity. So I think the letter of support would be great. I would love to see some more information. Would this be built by Evergy and Evergy alone?
No, they're in partnership with Trago Energy, I believe it is, who actually, I believe, does the construction or owns the facility.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of like Jeffrey Energy Center.
Yes.
is. Yeah.
But I think that there's 2 counties that have already thrown their hat in the ring, which is Coffee and Lyon, and I feel that it would be a good thing for us to throw our hat in the ring too.
Absolutely.
Linda, thoughts?
Sounds good. That's not already been decided?
No.
No. They just came out and announced that they were looking for 2 sites a month ago, I believe it was. And like I said, I just, go ahead, I didn't get it. Yes, okay. Yeah, just like I say, I just read that there was 2 counties that have done this, which is Lyon and Coffee. Personally, I don't think it'd be a good idea to put it down in Coffee where you have 2 new sites down in the same area. They'd want to get them separated, I think, a little bit. So that's just my own personal thoughts. But so general consensus is to go ahead and send a letter of support and a resolution for the support to Evergy, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Todd, could you handle that for me?
Yeah.
We could hire AI. Just kidding. Yeah, I think a letter of support and just that,
Yeah, I didn't see, was it an ad you said was in the paper? Or is that different?
No, there was an article about Evergy, and like I said, I want to say it's Trago Energy Sources, I believe, that was that announced that they were looking for 2 sites to possibly put 2 of these thallium, I believe it is, nuclear sites in Kansas.
So is there grassroots that we're joining, or are we
No, we are saying that Jackson County would be a good site to host one of those nuclear facilities in Jackson County. Like I say, Lyon County and Coffee County have already both put out a letter of support and resolution supporting this for their counties. So I think Jackson County ought to jump right in on the bandwagon and go from there.
this is, it's called TerraPower.
TerraPower, that's what it is.
Yeah.
I just
A
started
nuclear company co-founded by Bill Gates to explore the feasibility of building a new advanced nuclear power plant in Kansas.
and they were saying they're looking for 2.
what's their, I guess, do you know that we're even in a good spot for that? As far as, do we have the water, do we have
We would need to, they would need to come in, and that's on them to come in and look, but I think that we ought to get in on the
okay,
on the ground floor. We're just saying we want to be considered to be a
And
site.
again, it would all, yeah, sorry.
Yeah, no, you're good.
It would all fall into that, location of transmission lines coming out of the
Yep.
Jeffrey Energy Center. And actually, just for the record, some folks, in that region of western Jackson County have told me multiple times that nuclear, they would be in favor of.
Yes.
That are against solar, and I get it. I think nuclear is the only way to go because it's does a good job. And that type of thing.
Yep.
So,
So like I say, I think that we ought to get in on the
it's a
ground
much
floor
smaller footprint.
and let them, they're going to decide where they want to put it anyway, what's in their best interest. But I believe that, like I say, let's get in on the ground floor. Let's get them to come look at us, and they can either say yay or nay.
Okay, so
But
somebody send me something just to get a foothold and get a contact.
I would say we need to go to Evergy to see who I would say we need to go to. Letter of support.
Partnership in September 2025. TerraPower, Kansas Department of Commerce signed a memorandum of understanding to begin explore. It's Terra, T-E-R-R-A Power,
So there's a
and Evergy.
Kansas Department of Commerce.
That's correct.
So you're probably tracking
Yeah.
Yeah.
And maybe send a letter to all 3. I would also put in there that we have a tax abatement for new commercial facilities, and that would apply in this case. Give the details, 7 years, 0 to whatever.
Yep.
I don't remember the offhand, it's 0 the first year, I believe, and up to, I'm not sure, but
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
and I don't know, but it may be beneficial to send it to all 3, Evergy, since you're going to print off three copies.
I would think
Terra
so.
Power and Department of Commerce.
Yep.
Yeah.
So it's Evergy already in on the one in by Wolf Creek, Lyon County, and
Wolf Creek, that,
Coffee County is Wolf Creek, right?
Yeah, Burlington, yeah. I think that that's Evergy, I'm not sure. I'd have to look
Yeah,
it
it
up.
is, I think it's Evergy. And water may be important, they need that nearby.
Sure.
They're fully allocated, they're, John Redmond.
But John Redmond, or the lake down Evergy,
The Wolf Creek
This man-made.
after they built that for the,
Evergy owns 94%, Kansas Electric Power Cooperative, Kieffaber owns 6%.
Kara?
No, of Wolf Creek.
Okay.
Were you asking about who owns Kara?
Well, no, I was just saying, is Evergy, how is Evergy involved in this right now? Because we're writing them, so they're involved in it.
they want to partner with
They
Terra.
want to partner with that Kara, yeah.
Okay. All right, well,
to build a new facility.
Yeah.
And again, I think it's all going to be in proximity to a large distribution
Yes,
avenue, which would be coming out of,
coming out of Jeffries.
all right.
So, like I say, I think that would be like that'd be an avenue for us to explore. So, it doesn't hurt anything to throw our hat in the ring.
Yeah.
No, because they're going to come in with say either yea or nay.
I'm thinking about, I'm just always thinking about water. Just because I don't know what the water use of those are, but obviously in the traditional plant aspect of it, that's, they don't use a lot necessarily, but they need a source.
Correct.
And
So it's probably going to require a footprint big enough to build a lake.
well, or connection to Manners.
Yeah, I don't know that would ever happen because Banner's already being pulled surface water for residential and commercial use, and they're low.
Yeah, there's no discharge. That's what we're worried about. It's raw water access, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they're again, like I say, the lake down at Wolf Creek and the lakes out here at Jeffries are all man-made. So, but I'm not even, that's going to be up to them how they want to, if they can proceed or anything like that. I just want to get our hat in the ring saying that we want to support this.
Okay.
And we want to be considered for the
Quit
site.
being a lawyer, Todd. That's a good plan.
We want to be considered for the site.
Yeah.
Morning. How are you? Good. What you got for us?
Last week, Keith got with me and was asking about Neemaw County and how Terra handles the roads up there. Now that the windmill farm is going, and so if they tear a road up, how they repair it. Talked to them up there. They said they have it written up in their contract that if it's on the haul route and if the road gets damaged, the county repairs it. If they're off the haul route and they tear a road up, say they get vehicle stuck, it said it's $5,000 per vehicle to get the vehicles unstuck or whatever. They get a fine there for $5,000 per vehicle, and the next area has to pay to repair the road.
Okay.
So that's kind of how they had it. We talked about a year ago down on 94th Road about Shawnee County and the bridge that they're wanting to replace. I got a contract the other day from them.
Yeah.
I got with Todd, let him read it over to have insight.
That's out west of 75.
Yes, it's 94th Road, about in between J and I.
Not there with
Yeah, it's a wood structure. They're coming in, and again, it's government money, and they're quoting like a $500,000 bridge to put it on a maintenance road.
Oh, wow.
It's just our portion of it. This contract they have would be around $81,000.
How much?
$81,000.
What's the reasoning for replacing that? Have they given?
It's old. It's wood structure. It's just in bad shape.
Would this be one of those instances, I assume you've looked at it, or familiar with it, to where you can use the tubes and, you know, like we did, pre-cuts?
Possibly,
Be a lot
but
cheaper.
again, it's on their side, you know, it's their portion of their road that they maintain. It's on the county
They're
line.
paying 92% of this.
Right.
But still,
$81,000 is still a chunk of change for a minimum maintenance road that
Yeah, and I think that
they're supposed to
There's
maintain.
one house out there that goes to,
well, you guys as part of this, was driving up a lot, which I didn't understand. I just looked at it Friday, so I thought we could talk about this. Is that they really got you high on right-of-way costs and utilities on this budget. They have basically half of the right-of-way costs is on you guys. Do that for them. And then all of the utilities, which I'm assuming is relocation, which I don't understand. I mean, if it's 50/50, I think the cost division of it is reflective of the total county valuation. I mean, obviously, Shannon County's got a huge valuation comparatively to yours, and it doesn't have anything to do with how much the bridge is on either side of the line. So, but this thing delegates all the utility costs and half the right-of-way costs. You guys.
And one thing too is originally when we first talked with them, they were talking about 5% of our, you know, for us to pay, and now they're like at 6.8%. That's what they're talking about.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious why utilities will all be on us.
There's just no, you just don't know until you know whose side of the line everything's on.
Sure.
If this bridge is, 10 feet on their side of the line, that maybe makes sense, I suppose, but nothing in the statute here delineates out that utility relocation right of way is apportioned in any other way other than the percentage.
Well, I went and looked at it last week, and the only thing I saw as far as utilities that I can see is on the north side of the bridge, there is a conduit that's going alongside the bridge, so not really sure what that is. If it's power, if it's phone line, or what it is.
And you said I and J, is that what you said it was?
Yeah.
Because the minimum maintenance looks like it goes, I turns off or turns off on I. Like right in here. 394, there's I, which I'm assuming that's the minimum maintenance portion of the road right there.
Because the road kind of goes up through here. It's the road that we.
Yeah, I just turns, let me widen it out a little bit more. See what we're talking about here. There's the bridge back.
This is this whole cruise.
Soldier Bridge right here. And it didn't even look like there's a bridge there. So there's no bridge there.
I would just think there's got to be a way to put a cheaper structure in. I mean,
Again, you know,
this is a mainline bridge.
it's, well, with the T road up here, when I first started in here, it's a minimum maintenance road, they come in and put a $700,000 bridge in there.
You know, that's been a long time ago.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to see a wooden bridge anywhere along 94th Street there. which, like I say, this would be the minimum maintenance portion of the road. And even if that's the case, what I'm seeing here, the utility poles are all on the Shawnee County side through there.
So there's a conduit that runs on the north side of the bridge.
Okay,
But again, I'm not sure what it is.
so I don't even see a bridge along through this portion of it. I just don't see anything.
And I guess if we're paying for it, is
And back over here,
if we're paying for any portion of it, that would give us the authority to, at least for you to have a conversation with your counterpart down there in Shawnee County and say, hey, is this an option? This is way less money, but does the grant only, I mean, if the grant's paying for a part of it,
Right.
it states how much the grant's paying for?
no, not that I see. Now back over here, it looks like there's a bridge right here, and all of the utilities are over on our side. But that's back quite a ways away. That looks like just a little tributary that runs back down in through here to Soldier Park. Other than that, I don't see
Morning, Katie.
Yeah, so I Road is right there.
Right. It's back.
So the back, it'd have to be this right here, wouldn't it? That
But
little
again,
tributary that flows down through
Okay.
here and goes into Soldier.
Turn off the,
Yeah, okay.
no,
What's it? I believe it's a
turn off the gnome guy. I'm gonna keep off the,
Okay,
no,
so that'd probably be it right there, which if that's the case, yes, all of the utilities switched over to our side.
there's a gnome in their office that beeps when you walk
But I
in.
can't imagine that little tributary
It
needs
beeps.
The
whistle.
a $719,000 bridge.
Is it a song or just a?
Just a wolf whistle.
I don't know, I didn't see that. Did you see where I'm
Mine
back
was
where it is?
disturbing, and I try not to set it
Not,
off,
but I
No,
know it's true.
I was lazy.
It's just a little, I mean,
yeah.
I guess I would like to see, at least have a conversation with Shawnee County and say, is this an option to do it a cheaper way? This is a
yeah,
lot of money, and then I'd like to know, because I don't see anything on here that states what the grant's actually paying for.
Yeah, then just see about C.
And, yeah, why the utilities are all
Yeah,
up.
1C, it says, cost of right-of-way appraisal acquisition. An adjustment shall be borne by the county. Such appraisal acquisition adjustment is located.
I didn't get all of it.
oh, okay.
You said that was on C?
Yeah,
Yeah, you don't have that.
number one, the contract.
I don't have C.
Where did? I just don't see that. Lindy, still there?
I am.
All right.
I mean, the statute doesn't say that that's the division. You might see it. It may be somewhat implied, I think, because Shawnee County would not have authority to adjust right away in Jackson County or act in it, I suppose, but that's kind of cute.
Well, it says right here, whereas each county desires to replace the culvert over a tributary.
It's not a culvert.
It's not a culvert?
It's got wooden sides, you know, the head walls and stuff are out of wood.
Yeah.
It's a wooden structure.
And the members running across it are steel with wood laid over it, or is it tube underneath?
There's no tube underneath.
Okay. So it's steel underneath?
I didn't crawl down under and look at it. No.
Yeah, I need more information before I can sign off Questions being why we're paying up all the utilities, why, what portion is being paid by the grant, and then can it be done cheaper, or does the grant dictate the cost? That's a question I would want to answer to.
You pay all utilities, grant, dictating costs, or the other ones in there. Can it cheaper?
Yeah, can we suggest the head wall method that we use with the tubes, and why that would be sufficient? And I would even, you have the ability to determine how much water comes down through there. You have software maps or something that show.
But it should all have been determined whenever they.
So they should have the information, so if you can bring that information to what we did down here on that road, the tubes and the head wall.
Right, where I was going with that is if you already know that ahead of time, you can say, this one will fit based on the information you provided, it will handle X number of gallons of water. Instead of them going, well, I don't know. Because the water, you would have your ducks in a row before you got there.
Like I say, from what I'm looking at here, this is less of a creek, a ditch. That's all it looks like, it's just a drainage ditch, than what you put the tubes and the head wall in down there.
Yeah. So, sounds like get some information back and go from there. And
I would agree.
if we say no, do they have any authority to force us, or they'll pay for it themselves, or?
They can't force us into agreement.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it might be uncomfortable, but it's just
I'm
gonna.
okay with that.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure we're not just throwing our money in a place where we really don't have the money to spend. We have, based on other information we've received, we have a lot of other bridges that could use that $80,000
Yes.
besides that one.
That's why they put you in chairs there, make those big time decisions.
So that's what I've been told.
All right, so let's hold off on that until you get a little more information. We'll come back to revisit that.
Thanks.
All right, we're having our monthly safety meeting tomorrow out here at the bridge. Whatever that's worth. The sales tax money, the $250,000 was set aside for W Road. We've got $139,347 as of Friday. But the sales tax money that was not set aside, we're at $130,187. That's where we're at now. This week here, still, we'll be working on W Road as much as we can, as wet as it is.
Yeah.
We got a pretty big mud spot down on W, north of Denison, that we're going to look at.
There's quite a few of them. I was just down there this morning, looked, and I actually stopped and talked to him. And he said, yeah, I'm sitting here waiting on rock, and somebody's coming down the road filling me sitting here. So, I said, I can't do anything. I said, oh, I understand that. So,
Yeah, that's, and then got a call from the guy here who's got salt in the rock on his road, he's thinking the logs in now. So, I said, we're just taking them as we can.
Yep. I did get a message, and I don't know who's from. They didn't leave a name or anything. All I got was a number, and it was up there at 262 between the old highway and Q. There's a couple mud spots on there that probably need some, half a little rock each or so to put on there. They're worried about the kids coming the back way, Jackson Heights. My recommendation on that would be go to 254 and come across on College Road that we fixed to do that. So, but until we can get that fixed up here on 262. But there's going to be a lot of places like that since we had to cut $1 million out of the rock ledge for next year too. So we're doing what we can do.
They put a tube in down west in 317 last week. Fixed a guardrail on X and 284. And we had Friday when we had the rain, we had 4 trucks in the shop, did oil changes,
Do you have anything else?
No.
The 190th on Friday, I believe. There's gonna have to be some grading done on that one, on the minimum maintenance road from, U down towards Denison. Apparently they had 2 vehicles come down through there and they were over 3 tow trucks over 4 hours getting them out. And the sheriff was called on it, so he ought to have some information as to who, why, what.
So 190 and you,
Yeah, well,
Minimum
190,
maintenance,
what's that?
a minimum
Yeah.
maintenance.
did they say why they went down?
Apparently GPS took them down,
Wow.
but you know, signs up and everything, so.
Is it a big truck or something?
Is there a big track?
No, it's a big truck.
Or did just.
No, it was just a, some kind of a Mercedes SUV or something, so,
But their eyes are broken.
yeah.
They can't see.
That's all I'm saying, so, you know, if we need to recover some costs from,
Okay.
need to recover some costs, so. We'll see about that, like I said, I'm pretty sure it was Friday night, the night the rain started, or the day the rain started, they came down there at night, because, my neighbor up there had called me and said, called me next morning and said that they got home a little late, they were down there then, they'd been down there since 8 o'clock, something like that, trying to get them out. And at 2:30 they were still down there, so 3 tow trucks and so on and so forth. So I'm sure the road's pretty tore up.
Okay. When it dries out a little bit.
Yeah.
Anything else?
So we pulled out his driveway and take a look down there, because it's right there down there in that bottom, so.
I got something.
What's
So
that?
you guys are done? You guys?
And I have one thing, while Scott's still here, but it'll need to be done in executive session, has to do with job descriptions that we've gotten in. I'd like to have a conversation with them.
Job application?
Job applications. Yeah, not job description, sorry, job applications. Applicants, they need to go to Christie and then we can have a conversation at some point.
I'd entertain a motion then to go into executive session for,
Wait a minute. Yeah, mine is about the bridges.
okay,
So,
we'll hit that first.
all right. Well, I handed you the fund spreadsheet. So this, a very long story short, as a result of the request to kind of sort out a couple of bridges and maybe memorandum of understanding, I had first get straight who owns what, kind of, which led, this is the, basically, I was able to download the information from the federal NTV site for all bridges shown as being owned or claimed by the tribe. You're also in there, but I didn't print those out. This is just tribal bridges. And there's 2 kinds. Essentially, the green there would be BIA route bridges. So those would be, and I think they largely correspond with mapping that I had seen in historical records that show that there's a B2 blank bridge number, so like B203. And you can see that, I think, in one of these. You can see in the end of the structure number, and the corresponding numbers to that. It's basically all zeros except B205. So those are Bureau of Indian Affairs bridges on this image. The 2 that are kind of yellow are ones that are not shown on the tribe's information as being theirs, but aren't the ones that we're talking about as far as bridges. And the rest they are not a BIA bridge, but they're on federal inventory claimed by the tribe, that being tribal.
Tribal maintained, not ownership.
Well, nothing of this has to do with actual ownership
Okay, thank you.
necessarily. It just has, are we identifying them as BIA route bridges or something outside of those? And then there's a long list of ones that would be county bridges that are just not on the spreadsheet because they'd be 5 pages, right? So, and this is just based on the information I have, because the only thing I really have to correspond with this is that I think in 2007, 8, the tribe did kind of a road and bridge plan, a zoning plan, whatever you want to call it, a comprehensive plan, where they listed out a number of tribal bridges that are outside, either outside or separate and apart from the BIA.
And so, go ahead.
And I think there's more, there's approximately 25 of those, which is a lot more than what's showing on the image.
But the 13, that are not colored with white,
Yeah,
those are the 13 that were,
that currently of the 25 are recognized by the feds on the image.
Okay.
So we definitely have a disconnect between what the tribe is claiming on their bridges and what the federal side has. And like I said, I hadn't gone down this tribal bridge list to kind of see if there's any crossover between what our county bridges and they're off this
Yes.
spreadsheet list, but they're on this 2007 list with the tribal bridge. So I think probably this is just, and I got the maps here a little bit, that's all kind of background of the fact of the 3 roads that I think you asked about, and we can go through those. This is the start of the information to me that says we can be a little bit more systematic about it. At least you've got the background to say where, if we're faced with a bridge, where do we go? So, and the example, I think the MOU you wanted was 190th west of J Road. That is not on the federal image, that. It's not on the spreadsheet at all.
So I got a
It's
question for you.
it's actually 190 and 97.
How do you determine what road this is? Because all I'm seeing is VIA route like 915, 913. How do we determine?
You can't off of this.
Okay.
I've got this information out there, the map, or that Google Pro that I showed you guys here a few weeks ago.
Uh-huh.
All these are listed on Google Pro. The ones that are in question are on nobody's inventory. They're not on ours,
Sure.
federal, or VIA, nobody's inventory.
Right.
So,
Well, and that was the question I had, and that's, the only connection I could see is they claim a bridge 20, which is, again, not on this is one of the ones that's not on the spreadsheet, not on the map. And they call it the J and 190 Claybear's Bridge, over Crow Creek, built in 2003. That's bridge number 20. So I'm wondering if that was the one.
they have it named wrong though. It should be I-7,
Well,
190 and I-7. Because I checked with the Don Schmidt and per the longitude, latitude, that's what, like I said, they named it wrong, I guess.
well, what's I-7?
It's
High Road, I know.
okay, I road, and then between J, it goes, there's I-1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8.
it's intense.
Okay, so it's intense going across the mile. So if we were a 1/10 of a mile from J, that's going to be 7. Okay, if we were halfway, that'd be 4 in between I and J.
Okay, so that's more towards J Road. than
Yes,
I.
it's almost right at.
Okay, so that we've got 3 crossings there.
See, I've got the old file out here on that bridge that's in question. So we went in and we closed the road, closed the bridge. We took the bridge out. Then later, they came in and had a bridge built. And I've got the drawings with Potawatomi tribe name on the drawings. And
Well, that's,
that they rebuilt that bridge.
The road's closed officially. I mean,
We closed the bridge and tore out.
so is this real close to J, meaning it's like 100 feet?
Yeah,
Okay, so there's a,
it's to the west of it.
I think you can see it on Google, right? There's a little, I may bring this up on TV if we need to, it might take the time. And that's one, right? Here, here. And that fits I-7.
Yes, it's the closest one.
Okay. Well, so I guess that's the only question still is whether it's J, I mean, that's by J 190.
I think actually yours, they're not bridges or culverts.
Okay.
I think there was only one bridge in between I and J.
Well, that's the question, is it 190 west of J Road to Claybear's Bridge? It would be their bridge number 20. And what they want an MOU, they want us to maintain it, or they want it full?
Right now, it'd be us asking them to make it,
Okay.
because they built it.
They inspect, report.
It hasn't been inspected since they put it.
Okay. Well, that's what, I mean, since.
And like I said, I got an email from
Yeah.
Tim Ramirez, which was their old
Yeah, I
bridge
saw
guy,
that.
to the office in Oklahoma. And I-7 is listed on there. The 190 I-7 is listed on there.
I guess, I mean, unless somebody can, I mean, that's probably the answer, maybe before the MOU is to say to them, is this the J and I-90 Claybear's Bridge?
It's a minimum maintenance road.
It is.
It looks like one of those precast devices that they built the head walls and then just set it in.
It's built, Husker Steel built it.
Oh,
They had the drawings, so it's.
Oh, that's the drawings that you showed us.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Husker Steel built the bridge for them. It is just like the bridges we built, like 254.
It's Jay's minimum maintenance road too, but.
So, well, I mean, I guess the question, do you want to talk to them about that, or I mean, I'm kind of, I want to do an MOU till I know exactly what we're doing.
Oh, that's the same bridge.
Yeah, because if that's J 190 and that's Claybear's, then they're going to tell us what to do. Yeah, because that's, as far as I'm concerned, that's theirs to start out with. If they need us to take it over, there needs to be something. Okay. Did I get it right? 158 H Road is another place?
Yes. Would be, I think, H3.
H3. Because I looked at it, it's not on the federal inventory at all.
Right.
Even ours.
Right. That's what's, the 13 that I've listed is on nobody's inventory. The BIA or ours.
Well, this was, I think these were ones for MOU. At least I took like three bridges that you mentioned specifically.
Right.
I didn't take the whole list. So,
You still have to email us if you refer people for making pull it.
what did you say it was? It was H what?
I believe I had H3.
So that's towards G?
H.
That would be past H and H9.
On 150, on 158.
H4, the H4 road, there is an H4 road.
There it is.
So it'd be before that, on 158.
It's a larger bridge.
Oh, the
It's on Crow Creek.
big concrete bridges.
Yeah, I can see it.
Yeah.
Oh, the Crow Creek.
Yeah. Yeah, there's no, I couldn't track. It wasn't inventory, it wasn't in trash clean bridges. So,
And I was trying to find who built it. You know, I know Husker Steel, they don't do the big concrete bridges like that.
want the one that had your little boxes on it?
Yes. That one.
No, this is the email you sent me.
Then I say one after. And then the growth. So we can work on it.
I don't know if we're getting too far into the weeds on this one. But, I mean, that's an example. I guess first of all, maybe this is something we brought up to yourself, because you gave me a 182nd and Parr Road, and that's in the county on Federal. So, I think that was one in the email too.
Wasn't hard.
Wasn't hard? Okay, well,
There's one that's like 182 and 5, I think it was. I can get the list again.
okay, well,
I didn't know we were going to talk about this today.
yeah, sorry, that's why I said memorize that. So I think the question being the policy overall now, kind of as a result of this. Because we have an inventory of VA bridges, we have, I tried to see if they have a current, like, land use plan or bridge plan, and then online, I couldn't find it anywhere. So we're going off of the 2007 inventory that they had. But I think this is a position then that if regardless of whether it's on an inventory or not, if it's not on this sheet, which is the VA road bridges and tribes claim bridges, or the 2007 sheet, that we're going to presume it's a county bridge, and therefore we're responsible. Because there's nothing, we have no evidence at this point that it's anything other than a county road bridge, right?
Other than the evidence that you have for the one that we were just talking about.
Right. That we did not.
So we tore the bridge out, and they went back in and put one in.
That was slavery, wasn't it?
Well, that's what we got verified.
Yeah, okay. So, yeah, we're going to sort out some of those, but I'm just saying as a fault, if there's just complete mystery, nobody knows, then it's county
Sure.
bridge, and then we assume that.
Any help from the Bureau of Indian Affairs out of Oklahoma yet?
I've been in touch with them, and they were going to come up last week and meet with the president down here to talk about bridges, since how the government shutdown is going on. They're not traveling, so that got all postponed. I reached out to Roger again this morning, sent him an email to see if he could send me the BIA routes that were done back in the 70s, because I tracked it back to there, because there was some stuff done, and he's supposed to be trying to get that for me, what the actual routes are, because I do have an email again that says that if a bridge is on a BIA route, then it should be the BIA's responsibility.
Yeah,
So that's why I need to find out what the routes are. That's what this
there's still,
new stuff is.
yeah, there's still some stuff online, and I couldn't reproduce it very well as a printout, because for some reason they didn't want to do that. But this, there is online, you can go onto the BA site, and you can download or look at a map just like this. A little bit more details, so you can zoom in. But this is the only way I can get it.
So that shows the routes.
Yeah, that will show you, it's supposed to show you where the BA routes are.
Okay.
And
I can copy of the shows.
they, I wasn't urgent.
Well, I move we table this until we get.
Yeah, until we get some more information.
Okay.
Did you have another list of some of the,
I'll send you that stuff.
okay.
Yeah, just, I think just to give background, VA's program is was called IRR, or TFBP, It's Tribal Transportation Facility Bridge Program, that's the 2024 version. So they've got, and basically it's financing. So you're gonna, there's limitations on that. Because they're sending money in a block, they're not necessarily, I don't think, kind of detailed into, tied into that detail, so they can go to a bridge and say, I know what you did here.
I know Lisa Wamega, when I talked to her, she said that they were gonna come up and visit with them. I just don't want us to spend a lot of money and time doing the same thing they're doing, so I asked her if we could work together, to try to get it figured out, because I don't want them to waste money or us to waste money.
This list of roads that you set for responsibility, is that new to you? Or is that equal, 270 miles is what I come up with? Is that roughly?
Yeah, that's why I said before, trying to.
Okay. So that would,
That is a list that was hanging out on my wall for quite some time, and I just wanted to, we have removed a few things off of it, or things that went for start here the other day, so we got that removed and retyped it, so we got it. In the computer now.
Okay.
I know if we're running late.
Well, let's, I was gonna say,
Take care of Tim and
let's go ahead and you guys stick around to hear Tim's comments on before we call on our speed limit. So, Tim, you wanna come on up? How are you, Dave?
Good, how are y'all?
Doing great.
thank you so much for here.
Neighborhood.
Appreciate to hear your thoughts on this, on our speed limits.
So, I had a lot of discussion with you, so can you tell me, maybe your reasoning for wanting to change it, or,
We were just looking at making all hard surface roads 45 mile an hour.
hard surface?
Or hard surface.
Right.
Gravel.
I thought gravel was going to 35. Isn't that what we talked last week?
We talked about it, but I'm not in favor of dropping.
You're not in favor of that, you just want all roads in the county at 45?
Yeah,
I'm fine with that, if that's what
because what we had talked about was what Pot County had done.
Right, and they did unpaved roads. That's 45 unless posted.
It's 40, actually.
Yeah, 40.
In Pot County.
Well, I didn't know if you were getting complaints, or whether you were.
Yes,
Partly.
That's one of the reasons that we're looking into this, yes.
but just the speed of people where it's unmarked, is 55, and that's,
Right, well-
it's just destroys gravel roads.
So-
I was over at the county line the other day, so.
No.
So I got one, I got one too.
Oh, okay.
So, my thinking is, you know all this, obviously the shotgun approach probably isn't the best, because there's some roads where you probably don't wanna drive more than 30 or 35, there's some roads that you can drive 55 theoretically. And I said to Keith that there's probably places in our county where people travel that barely ever make it to a paved road, when they go great distances. But they're also in very, isolated remote areas of the county. So if you were to come up with proposal for speed limits, it would be, every place would be different. Maybe there's housing areas, maybe it's a busy intersection, so a shotgun approach probably isn't the best way, but I know that it'd be extremely expensive to re-sign or sign, 900 miles of roads that we have.
Yeah.
Kind of. So, I would recommend somewhere in the 40-45 range, and I didn't even pass it to all my employees, and all but 2 were somewhere in that range. There's a couple that said 35, but those weren't law enforcement officers, those were dispatchers and corrections officers. But I don't think that you're probably going to have less complaints. I think probably people may complain more. You're still going to have people that they're going to drive whatever they want to drive until they get caught, But
I probably want to hope so. I mean, just being honest,
yeah, well, I mean, some of the people, some of you've grew up on country roads, you probably know how to drive on them as opposed to somebody that hasn't, But that would be if you're gonna lower it, I wouldn't probably lower it to 35, although I would say that there's gonna be some roads where, you know, you might wanna go 20, you know? So, then some that you can drive, you know, whatever you need to, but that would be my thoughts. You know, I probably wouldn't go below what Todd County's doing, you know, they're at 40, that's, you know, they got pretty good roads, overall,
Yeah.
but,
So as from an enforcement standpoint, would it help you, your officers, if we did make it just a blanket speed limit?
well, I mean, I think it would be, you know, obviously, you're probably gonna have some places where you wanna post it below that, I suppose, maybe still, I don't know, there might be.
I don't know that we do, other than one, in my area, 142 is the only place that is below, it's 35, but it's a haul route.
Right.
But other than that, I don't know any place that we've posted it, other than 45.
So, I mean, right now, it's 55 unless otherwise posted, so that's pretty well covers it, this would cover that as well. I just, you know, I think that, you know, I think it would be, I don't know, I don't think I think some areas, like you say, some areas you could probably drive a little bit faster than, but you know, you come up to a housing area, or let's say, you know, like 123rd lane or somewhere where you might be getting more traffic, you know, you might want to do something different, but, overall, I think it's doable, I just, you know, I don't know, I'll be interested to see what changes are, how people will react to it, but I don't have a lot of, we're not having a lot of accidents on those roadways, very few actually, and the ones that, a lot of those accidents are because somebody didn't stop at a sign, or maybe they were driving too fast for conditions. And that's another thing, we can always cite too fast for conditions, even, you know, if it's a roadway that's just, you know, obviously you shouldn't be driving that fast on, even though the speed limit might be otherwise posted 55, we can still write those citations in the situation, so.
Okay.
Why do we get a lot of phone calls from homeowners, you know, landowners about how fast people are driving by their house?
And some
Put a
places,
sign up, it's gonna do no good for me to put a sign up, plus I have to have a resolution to put a sign up, and I said, that's the sheriff's department, so.
well, you know, and sometimes, you know, depending on the road, depending on the size of the vehicle, you know, something that's driving 55 mile an hour past their house, it might seem like a rocket, you know,
Right.
Yeah.
flying past their house, and it's really, maybe they're within the speed limit, because I've checked all these roads myself where we're having people that are speeding all the time, we'll go and check and hardly anybody's exceeding the speed limit. You know?
Yeah, and a perfect example would be U4 Road,
Yeah.
between 134 and 118. Tim was kind enough, they came down, they set up a couple of different officers, they ran, I think, almost 8 hours of checking. And the homeowner who lived in that house would swear up and down that they were going way too fast. But when Tim checked it, they were all 45 or less. I don't think he pulled anybody over that day, and so it's a
matter of perception.
Right.
It appears that traffic is going faster than that. And I just encourage people to reach out to law enforcement and say, hey, here's what I'm seeing.
They do that, we put patrol out those areas, and anytime we have, you know, complaints, we put people in those areas, focus in on. But a lot of times, that's our findings, is people aren't going near as fast as they think they're going. Now, there's always the exception, there's always somebody that, you know, tries to blast through it, you know, way over that, you know, 65 miles an hour, 70 mile an hour a year. But, you know, but then you go down and wait all day, you don't see that person, you know, but
Yeah,
I guess that happens. I mean, there's no doubt people are going too fast on all roads. I mean, 75 is, very, you know, all day long. You know, we can write tickets all day long, and, people don't understand, revenue doesn't go to the county, so we write tickets, so, but, but it's just continuous. And so, people are driving too fast everywhere, really.
I'm not sure at the end of the day it's worth the cost of going to the trouble to put up all the signs and, or at least put up signs that say we've reduced down. I just don't know that it's worth the cost.
I would agree with you. I don't know that it is. I want to get your opinion, hear what you had to say, and there again, I believe that Keith is correct. If people are having a perceived problem, then they need to call them, let you know, and you know, that way you can put your officers out on patrol, or there, whatever. I don't think that it's worth our time and trouble to do that. It's going to be an extreme cost. Linda,
Yes,
what do you think?
I'm not sure.
Do you think it's worth the cost to put the signs up?
What's that?
Do you think it's
worth the cost to put the signage up for the lower speed limit?
No, I don't.
No, she does not.
okay?
I mean, obviously to do it right, you want to evaluate every road,
Sure.
you know, but then you're putting new signs up on every road. I wouldn't even know what a sign costs now, but it'd have to be just one
Think
sign.
by the time you pay for signs, posts, and labor, you know, you're talking quite a bit of money on that. And by the time you do, how many miles of roads do we have? 900 some?
We usually know it's about $160 per sign and post.
Okay.
So whatever.
Just Just in 10 miles would be,
Yeah,
you know.
a lot.
But like even if you just put them on the county lines, I mean, that's a lot of,
Yep.
That's maybe about 90.
It's a lot of money. A lot of money.
But I would recommend anybody that are having issues to call us. We're gonna have, if they call and say we're having problems on this road, we're gonna put people out there.
Right.
You know, and, so if it's an ongoing issue, keep calling, you know, if it's not.
Yep.
You know, we happen to miss whoever it is, or vehicles that are speeding.
I had the guy that was gonna throw boards out there with nails and bring rocks. I said, well, again, that's the sheriff's department.
Yeah.
All right.
That wouldn't be good.
No, your calls might be worse than some of mine, so.
Well, thank you.
All right, well, Tim, I thank you for coming in and giving us your input on that, and I think that, I think it's consensus of the commission that we're just gonna leave things alone for right now, and we'll evaluate it at a later date.
So, I just have something to run past you, just take a second.
Yeah.
So, the Kansas Department of Corrections, so when we have people that are, parolees that are being held here, for the state now is paying us. You know, they might only be here a day or two or a week or whatever the case may be. But that rate now, they'll pay up to $112.82 per day per inmate. And to put that into action, they want us to either have that in the county commission minutes or a county resolution. But if we get it in the minutes, if that's acceptable to all of you, then we can send that up to them.
I agree with that.
Go with that, right?
Right, yeah, I would say that, general consensus. Linda, what do you think?
Yes, I agree with it.
Okay, so general consensus is that, yes, accept that rate.
Then we can get a copy of that. Very good. That's all I had.
All right,
Tim, thank you very much, appreciate it.
Thanks, guys.
yeah, quick question for you.
Sure.
That makes sense.
All right.
If you have those, applications,
There's more now.
yeah, I'd like to just take 15, 20 minutes to run through those, kind of maybe weed out what we have. The application close date is, okay. So I'd
Still
like,
open, is it?
Yes.
until Phil,
Also, okay.
I couldn't remember if we put a close date on it. So I'd like to go through those. There's some in there that I'd like to set up some times to get Yes, sir.
I've only seen the one that was brought out there. Didn't tell you who the other ones are.
We'll take a few minutes. Let you just go through them and ask some questions and that kind of thing. As soon as our attorney gets back in here, we'll go ahead and take that.
That's some things.
What do you need a publication involved?
What am I doing tomorrow?
You, every Tuesday?
Yeah, so we print Wednesday mornings. So, but if we know it's coming and we have an idea, we can probably wait until 4 p.m. on Tuesday for you.
I'm not gonna make you do that.
We can, yeah.
We just got a tax sale coming up, so I just wanna
Oh,
do
yeah.
my days.
Well, we would love to see what's for sale. But yeah, Tuesday around noon is probably ideal.
Make a motion on stuff.
No, we haven't made a motion. I'd entertain a motion to go into executive session for what, non-elected personnel?
Yep.
Non-elected personnel for 20 minutes?
Yeah, I move we go into executive session for purpose of personnel matters, non-elected personnel, for a period of 20 minutes, starting at
2:14?
10:14, reopen 20 minutes later. In this room, to include our public works director, our attorney, and our clerk.
Review application.
Yeah, review application of employment.
Do I hear a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, it's probably moved and seconded to go into executive session for non-elected personnel matters of employment. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carried.
Every time they start on these different grades, here, everybody in square shot.
Yeah.
What? What dirt are you digging in?
Yeah, or the other one is, you know the difference between a box end and open end range, and you know what crescent range is. You know, just simple things like that. That they can
12-point.
sorry, 12-point sockets, yeah, 8-point, yeah. Just
We did.
We good?
I think so.
Yeah, I think we're good. And we did get an email from Paulette Hubb, who has withdrew her application.
This is Brooke.
With that email?
Yep. She sent it to Kate. Kate sent it on to us. She has withdrawn her application.
That's disappointing.
So,
See you, Scott.
all right. Thanks, Scott. Appreciate it.
Linda Paulette has withdrawn her application.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
And, Rex Lawrenson brought one in this morning, so we scheduled him for 2 o'clock.
Okay.
Okay.
However, we got, so, when.
Hey, Christy.
Uh-huh.
Can you just email me?
Until
Copy of
access
this.
our laptops and
Application.
desktops and laptops.
Okay.
I had brought all the laptops over, had them all set up in the conference room, and then our desktops, we brought new PCs. So he was able to do everything he could because they're a regular PC. But when they went to get on their laptops, he could not do anything because it was all locked in the place. So I sent a ticket, and all information was here. So I sent a ticket asking that,
Have you talked to, Lisa about taxes?
asking.
Oh, no, I can't, can you run?
for.
Yeah, we ran them. And I had to rerun 2 districts, and then I got an email from
Asking
after
them
that, that she dropped to her left.
they called.
So I'm waiting to hear back from Heather.
Set up or prepared, and all the lockers were there, but, and all the staff would have to do is turn them on. But nobody knew what to do at that moment.
It says
So
that
that's not
state
scheduled.
digging has suggested.
So they remote in, they only do one, which is always charge me back.
Yeah.
They keep remoting and we're having issues where they're still not able to get,
I mean, it's not gonna be a lot, but that's what we're
so you can just kind of follow the trend. So at the end
Still,
of the day,
we're
we're
gonna
doing
do all the projects now.
$405.
Yeah,
So
that's great.
their stuff, they're adding.
No, but they-
Our IT.
Really?
And you, when was it supposed to terminate? On the
It
30th?
would have been, August 30th.
Yep.
Okay, so this was before.
Somebody said that was our last
Like
slide.
a weekday period, and would this be,
But
the thing, this would not be included in their, I mean, do they not bill you for,
I pay regular monthly and stands and like the best income. I pay that. This was a ticket
and CIC on
and
the,
that they created,
she's
didn't
still under
ask
that.
the day, whatever. But my biggest beef of it is that multiple times of the money.
Yeah.
She doesn't work all the time. Because accomplish what was needed from their end.
civilian?
But they're billing me for it, but on top of it, it's our intellectual property. And the only reason we couldn't do what we needed to do is because they had blocked all our access. And so I'm just, my thing is I oversee my funds. It's my job to make sure that everything's spent correct. And they're being billed this amount for these multiple attempts of them doing what was needed to them.
Well, let's, breaking it down here, so this, let's say this was a normal day,
Okay.
not in the termination period, they just, something was really wrong, would they bill you like this for this kind of
They
thing?
would, and I would dispute certain things because like they were not being set, like it wasn't scheduled with me, because I would have only scheduled it when I was there. I wouldn't schedule it when I wasn't there, and that way we would have everything set up, and ready to go, so they just do, because maybe it doesn't pay them a lot of funds. I didn't know they were doing this, I didn't find out the next day, and then, like I said, all this was in the history of organism, when like something new, like a new PC that's been set up, they've tried to bill me multiple times without arguing the billing, because I'm here to show ticket, charge for any service you didn't.
But you would then
charge
know about
me,
Operation
then
Rewind
times
dates.
you need to accomplish what was needed initially.
One time, okay.
Yeah,
Well, so you guys, does anybody in the county use Networks Plus
I
anymore?
don't anymore, but I know, Christy, do you know if anybody uses Networks Plus anymore? The county, I don't think they do.
Well, I mean, I don't have, I guess, without looking at the contract, I couldn't say for three of those. I mean, the contract probably didn't cover what the complaint queue is, which is multiple logins for the same problem. You know, fostered a little bit by, a little bit by you, but mostly by them. So, you haven't paid it, I'm assuming, right?
I haven't, and I communicated that with Jake Schultz, who's been in communication with me, which is the last. This is what, because I told him to set a time, I'm gonna dispute this charge until we get to the bottom of what's going on. And this is what his response was, and so, I mean, I feel like at this point in time, I probably should just pay it, but I'm also super annoyed, and I want to argue some of the multiple times because they went off, there's no correspondence, like normally in a ticket, so when you send that and I respond, it'll show my response. And I literally was on the phone with him that day and then later that afternoon, and I was on Zoom, and they're trying to remote in and only was able to access those because it wasn't scheduled. So, I mean, and I have no issue having a conference call with him on all the multiple attempts. I mean, it's ridiculous.
Yeah,
405, I mean, it's different if every time I had to turn one on and set it up, but it was all turned on and set up.
well, yeah, I mean, my thought is that, you know, you're not gonna get to a level of legal answers, maybe that's gonna satisfy this one short of, you know, what I would respond if I were, said, I'm tired of this, you answer it, I would say, well, I'm gonna give them an official letter, basically saying I'm not paying it, and that's it. They're just gonna be from county council, the charges are, unwarranted and unnecessary. If they have a problem, they have a claim. I'm not gonna tell them how, and just make them go through the rigmarole. Since we don't have a active contract with them, I'm not too worried about, making that good. So, but you can do the same thing as just say, we don't think this is a valid charge, we're not paying it. If you wanna, you can use my name, you can tell, you can submit whatever you want to the county councilor, and they'll tell you what his answer is. So that helps. Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I have nothing against what the position is, and nothing that says that that's not reasonable in the circumstances. I don't think at the end of the day that there's a solid legal answer that just shuts them down. I can send you a contract and say this, and you're through, and they recognize it. So I think we just gotta keep the wall up, and I'm assuming they'll probably eat it rather than try to force the issue by filing a claim. So.
That sounds good. Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, it's kind of no different than a piece of equipment that is in our office, and we have to pay on it until October 26th, which is fine. But I'm like, okay, I'll keep paying on it every month, but I don't return it until our contract's up, because I'm going to do turn around and get this on that.
Yeah.
But then they were saying they have to come home and pick it up at a charge fee to pick up their equipment. And I'm like, okay, no, you know what, I got in my hat enough, I'm just take it to the office.
Yep.
What, but I'm not returning it until October. But I'm like, I've just never, this is how they handle it. I'm like, this is.
Well, probably, it sounds like it's a good, it's a good idea not to keep them on.
Right, right. Well, I appreciate your time and advice. And I will. Next word.
Just do that.
Okay, well, it's nice official meeting.
Good meeting too.
Yeah, how are you guys?
Great,
Everybody else
yourself?
good? Do what?
How about yourself?
I'm good. It's been a little, I keep saying the bottom's gonna fall out, the bottom's gonna fall out. So it's starting to fall out. But it's a different kind of, I literally say, and I've said this to school professionals, law enforcement, I said, when there's trends, like you can, even like in the drug world, so like you kind of, you foresee. There's no foreseeing. Every day is a new day, it's a new normal.
There
And
you
you just
go.
have to adapt and
Yep.
go with it. And so, today, there's just a lot of human trafficking, a lot of kids running off with older men out of state, and we're tracking them down. He's being the phone, that's what I was taking a call on, and I'm just like, this is crazy.
Wow.
Absolutely crazy. When you see all those missing kids all the time,
Right.
Yeah.
nonstop. And this really messed up part is some of them that are under the age of 16, these, adults are getting charged, but they don't even know how old they are.
Yeah.
And they're the ones luring them in too. And I'm like, we gotta do something, right?
My opinion on that. I'm going frontier justice all the way.
There you go. There you go.
It's just too much, so.
I would agree with you.
You're doing great. Just wait for the call when they return from, Missouri. With the
There you
kid. Enjoy your day.
All right, we'll see you later.
Yeah,
Thank you. Todd, what you got for us?
Well, we covered a lot of it, so not much now. So talked to Kim, we got a scheduled tax sale, so that's always kind of a managing dates and everything,
Yeah.
publication and then, so we'll sort that out. I got the order for the pleadings draft for that. It's not too tough. Just making the mechanics work is crazy. Looks like we're gonna look for more info on the bridge issue and then the private bridge issue we talked about. And
Yeah.
one of the things I was looking at that contract with Shawnee County, and we got to take that, so. I'm not sure exactly, I got little things that are just not, still got to contact the general counsel for KDOT. So that's looking on my long-term list.
Okay.
Anything else you guys have, or it's not another?
Linda, you need Todd for anything?
Hey, yeah, Christie has some papers there that I think we need to go in executive session about.
Okay, you want to make a motion?
For attorney-client privilege?
For employee performance.
Non-elected.
Okay. Non-elected. That's fine. How long?
Oh, 10 minutes.
Okay, I move to go into executive session for the purpose of non-elected personnel matters of non-elected personnel. For a period of 10 minutes, to discuss, what
Employee performance.
employee performance. And Christie would be in here and, start. And-
48. Is 50.
Okay, it's probably moving second. You got here a second.
Second.
Okay, it's probably moving second and to go into executive session for, in matters of employee performance, non-elected personnel for 10 minutes. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carried. So,
I'm gonna have Tara come down this afternoon. I need to work on my tax.
okay.
I probably won't go in this afternoon, I'll do, that's you all.
You say you will not?
Yeah, she'll just stretch you off.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'll press you all.
He's still got it on. No, that's just for us.
Hey, Scott. Everybody disappeared for a few.
Let me just a minute.
I haven't moved your money yet. It's on my desk. And, do we just have to have the 150-some thousand to go to landfill? Do I need to have money to go to agent shed and whatever the other thing is? I said, well, I talked to him, said something about 142,000, which would be it. So,
Landfill and transfer station are two different. Then appraisers, what they have with appraisers does, I think, is way higher than it should be. They have 157,000. Yeah, I think close to appraisers does like about
15?
50, 50 or less. Landfill, again, we fill out paperwork every year. So,
Yeah, I think she had like 141.
yeah, we just always have to keep that for that.
Do you think I probably need the agent shed there? I'm just trying to figure out how much money I need.
What I was wondering is, what was that called, state on that? Just if we had just one.
All right,
One
great.
month, they're gonna close landfill and all at the same time.
Okay, I move to go into executive session for the purpose of personnel matters of non-elected personnel for a period of 10 minutes, starting at
11:05.
11:05. Matters of employee performance.
Yep.
And to invite our clerk and our attorney
And Scott.
and Scott.
Okay, it's been properly moved and seconded to go into executive session. Second, do I hear a second, Linda?
I second it.
Okay, it's been properly moved and seconded to go into executive session for personnel matters, non-elected personnel with Scott, and the clerk, and the commissioners, and the attorney. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carried.
Yep, thanks, Scott.
You're welcome. Have a wonderful day. You too.
Okay. Something else to do?
Nope, not what I think of. You got anything?
I do not.
Linda, you got anything for Todd?
Nope.
Okay.
Have a
We are
great
set.
day. Well,
Let's see. Should have stopped using. Because when I threw him past him, make sure he's good with it.
like a yo-yo.
Yeah. What's scheduled for the 4th?
What?
November 4th,
November 4th.
all
What's
day.
mine? I'll be here at 6:30.
You're not getting,
No, I'm getting you.
So that week's probably going to be out for you altogether. I would guess.
but really interviews aren't going to involve maybe.
No, well, it's going to, her whole office is going to be busy that, I don't know, all week or.
We
If
canvass.
you want to do it that week, you're gonna canvass here, we can do it here or here. We have election, then I have write-in. I
The
have
7th,
audit.
I've got to go out to, or I got to go up to Netawaka to present the CEO of Kneecap for a 15-year award of theirs that morning. So I mean, so if we're going to do it, I guess we can do it on the 6th. If everybody's free on the 6th.
Okay, I have audits on the 6th, but I can have two
Doesn't
others on the other.
Really, all it takes is somebody to be
Somebody
here
from your office.
in between interviews. It doesn't require, we're not going to be conducting business. So we just take one of your deputies to.
Linda?
Yeah, sounds good to me, I can be there.
Okay,
And then we have the KDOT presentation, Jackson Heights that afternoon.
that's is that like 6 to 7? Is that what that is? I think.
5 to 7.
For 3 to 4, I think it's for local officials.
Yeah, local officials are 3 to 4. They're getting us first, and then. Give us a look at that.
And you can schedule the interviews in the morning,
Earlier the better.
or 2.
8 o'clock.
Yeah, 9.
We go 9.
I don't think it'll take us more than an hour.
Okay.
So 9 on the 6th.
You want a half hour or 15 minutes or?
I think 15 minutes is going to be long enough, don't you? If they run over, it's just the 2 of them, so if they run over, we can go. I don't think it's going to be that big a deal.
Schedule the whole hour. I mean,
Yeah,
first one at 9, second one at 9:30.
I think so. I think that's, yeah.
Alright.
Let's do that. And also have. Yeah, so we get 3 to 4 on Thursday. And then I might just come in my work for us. 3 to 4 is for the Jackson Heights for the local officials briefing. And then there'll be a public open house from 5 to 7. Have you finished your minutes, Keith?
No, yeah. Okay, I'm done. Linda read.
She will not be able to vote on, she's not here.
Oh, that's right.
So, I will entertain a motion to approve the minutes of, find any corrections? Okay, approve the minutes of October 20th, 2025.
So moved.
Second, okay, it's been properly moved and seconded to approve the minutes of October 20th, 2025. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Thank you. Have you ever heard back anything from our grant writer in Lawrence?
Yeah, I think I was there a few weeks ago. And just said he was gonna apply for it again, and just forgot about us, but.
Make some tweaks, but I mean, he said that they usually send him a letter saying what was the problem and so on and so forth, so.
Yeah, that's one of the things I found to be interesting in Mr. Rupnick's views on Jackson County and the amount of money they put into roads in Jackson County. What we failed to talk about was where that 30+ million came from. You know, was it out of their coffers,
No,
something
it came from
generated, or was it through federal government, through grants?
Yeah.
Grants that we don't have the eligibility to get because they get them.
Yep.
Okay, it says good morning, just wanted to let you know that I'm still checking on this every month. There's still nothing to report, but I haven't forgot about Jackson County and our commitment to honor our contract by submitting this again when it's time to come. Hope you're all doing well. That's it.
Okay. And in that January or February timeframe when that had to be submitted? That seems to stick in my mind, that's what it was.
I think you're right. Yeah,
Okay.
I don't see anything offhand, but. Yeah.
All right. We'll touch base with him again maybe in November, in November 1st, December, just see where he's at. I'd just like to keep on top of that because that would be huge if we can get it.
Yeah. How did you come across the nuclear facilities? Did you say it was in KC?
No, I saw that, I saw a thing on www announcing it, and I saw several things on Facebook announcing it too. And then I did see a thing on, it was either KSNT or www online, one of those two that said that both Lyon and Coffee had done a resolution and a letter of support wanting to put it in their family. So figured we might as well jump in on the ground floor and see what we can do.
And it didn't state how big the facility or anything like that?
No, like I said, I did some little bit of research on it, and they're smaller footprint than a normal nuclear facility. They're more modular, I believe. Yeah, I was on a YouTube video of it here. Yeah, it was in a reflector too, I guess, Kansas Reflector. Kansas partnered with Evergy and TerraPower to explore on September 26, 2025. Yeah, share that here. Actually, I'll share it to. I'll share it to Christy and she can send it to everybody. How's that, Christy? Make sure that we're all on board here. Send that to you. Natrium nuclear reactor, not natrium.
It's Evergy and who?
TerraPower. So it's basically three parties: Kansas, Department of Commerce, Evergy, and TerraPower. It uses liquid sodium as a coolant rather than water.
Mark, Keith, did you get that email? I just forwarded it.
Okay. I'm
The
watching
computer's being,
a video, so I'll check it.
Linda, I sent that to you too.
Yes, I just got it.
Okay.
You guys know that Corey was sold again?
Linda said Hannah's Quarry sold again.
Really?
Who is Dishinobu Bottom? I think Japanese owned them. You sell them.
Bettis?
Martin Marietta,
All right, I just want to make sure.
Who'd you say?
right. Martin Marietta,
Oh,
Well,
big company.
I thought Martin Marietta was pretty much done, Dave, because that's who actually owned the quarry that was right across from the landfill. When Hams was a landfill there, and Martin Marietta owned the quarry right across the road there, directly across the road. That was years and years and years ago.
I think.
Really? I understand they're buying it quite a bit.
Huh.
It closed on the 31st of October.
Wow.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Wonder if that means Robert's gonna go up.
Yeah, probably so.
I know that, yeah, could be.
Probably so.
I was told they're hiring you,
Oh, great. Yeehaw.
So is Johnson County, if they're all up into London.
I don't know. I've not heard anything about Johnson County. The only few that I've heard is is Lion Coffee. That's the only two that I've heard.
So they have one of these plants.
Somewhere in Wyoming. Our first nature plant is currently being built in Wyoming. Building its first reactor near the site of a retiring coal facility in Kieffaber, Wyoming. And since we keep talking about Jeffers being retired for long,
But would they just put it on that site?
I don't know. That's a possibility, but like I say, unless we throw our name in the ring, you never know.
Sure.
Should we go ahead and take off, recess until 1 o'clock? Yeah. Linda, we're gonna recess till 1 o'clock. And you won't be here this afternoon, right?
I will be here afternoon.
Okay. All right, well, you have a good day then, okay?
All right, thanks.
All right, see you later. Recess till 1.
Bye.
All right,
Okay, Carol, we did this afternoon.
sounds good.
Yeah, try to figure out my next.
Four times in 10 years. When they drilled the well the next time, I had to put in a cistern,
Oh, yeah.
big cistern. And
Let it
the
settle.
well pump now runs 5 minutes every 20, I think it is. And that way it doesn't hold the iron up, just settles it down, he lets it settle. So we're at 5 minutes on every 20. You know,
I looked at a system called FLEC. It's a filtration system that's oxygenates the water and it filters it out.
Yep.
If you need a bigger system, you can inject hydrogen alongside it. I didn't know you could do that.
I didn't either.
Yeah, interesting.
Interesting thing, yeah.
Yeah, interesting system. Hi, Ernie.
Hey, yeah.
Good.
Yeah, but when, let's say after 4 times in 10 years changing the pump, I said enough's enough. And the 4th time, the casing had collapsed. So, drill another one.
Yeah.
Do I have to take my hat off till you can get a better picture?
If you want to, we're just gonna see the back of your head. We're just gonna see the back of your head.
That'd be the scary part. 'Cause I
Oh,
don't want
I
to
see.
get
I
up
love
there.
Hi, Sheriff.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
Great. Okay, it's 1 o'clock. We'll call the meeting back to order. Ernie, gotta come on up.
Right here?
You bet.
That'd be great.
We're just gonna kind of jump in and ask you some questions. We've used this process before. We try to ask the same questions to each individual that we're doing, so we're not, trying to show favoritism. Every once in a while, we'll have a follow-up question or something from something you might say. But other than that, this is just kind of a back and forth session here. That's how we normally handle it. Is that okay with you?
That's fine.
All right. So I'll just start off. What is your understanding of the role of the planning board?
Well, I've been around Jackson County for, I guess you'd say, since the 60s. And to me, the planning board carries enough weight that they should do a lot of background checking before they even recommend it to go to you people to get it okay. And I think that it just needs more in-depth knowledge before it comes to you people to okay it, so they can state what the real principle of the whole deal is about, in my opinion.
Okay, so, and I'll let you follow up on that. So, somebody wants to open a bed and breakfast. What kind of background would you want to be looking for on that?
Well,
And how would you go about that?
the biggest thing that I would look for would be what kind of representation that they would have to produce good, reliable source until it will make Jackson County better if this bed and breakfast comes in.
Okay.
And that's the whole deal, is I think that I don't necessarily say good to bad just because of their name. I just think that if they come from another county, we ought to be able to look back into that county to make sure that they done good and didn't leave a bad trail coming into our county.
Sure. Okay.
Give me an idea, or tell Mark and I about maybe a board or a group that you worked with to come to a conclusion. So have you been on any city councils or any other groups where you work to arrive at a decision?
Well, I've worked with some of the deal in Mayetta. It was like a small planning board.
Right.
It wasn't that name back in the mid-70s. It was just a group of people got together before it went into the city commissioners.
Right.
And I owned enough, well, just in houses along, and not counting the business district, I've owned over 40 houses in Mayetta.
Okay.
And then in the business district, between 70s and now, I've owned probably at least every building in the business district, but about 3.
Okay, thank you.
So tell us a little bit about yourself and why you're interested in serving on the planning commission and what makes you a strong candidate for the planning board.
Well, I've had to get ground rezoned for my sandblasting. I sandblasted outside of Mayetta for over 40 years. I've owned different antique stores in Mayetta and around. And my whole deal is with the way that, to me, that the economy is getting and stuff like that. I think we just need to do a little more research to the people that are wanting to open a business to make sure that the ground that they're going on is zoned adequately. And because there's a lot of flaws in industrial ground concerning hazardous waste or concerning, because when I applied, I had to get a federal license to sandblast on the property that I own down there. And then about 10 years into it, they had made it till regular sand like you used to buy in bulk at Victor Sand in Kieffaber could no longer be used. You had to use, and they would cut every 6 months, and the federal government did.
Sure.
And it's one of those deals. I'm not trying to deny people of work, but if you're going to be into something along that line, they need to be on property that is zoned to adequately, cover what's going on.
Ernie, you talked a little bit about, like 40 houses over the years and around Mayetta and Hoyt too, I think.
Yeah, Mayetta, Hoyt, I've owned at least a house in about every town there is in Jackson County.
Okay. How do you feel about whether the county, in particular the area you live in, whether there's enough housing, and how do you feel about whether that's something that if you were put on the board, you would want to try to work with the board to try to make zoning easier for people to build homes?
Well, the whole thing about that is as long as they abide by the rules that are set by the county, I have no problem with that.
Okay.
But the people that want to come in and put up what I consider a small home that is not up to standard,
Sure.
that's where the problem is.
Okay.
Because, yes, the rules on some things are pretty strict, but they're also for the outcome of this county.
Sure.
And this county is close enough to Topeka that right now you can see the influx coming in out of Shawnee County.
Took the words right out of my mouth. So if you just go across 94th Street, you see that they're building very nice homes on 3 acres with 250 foot of road frontage.
Yeah.
Do you think that home building is a good way to encourage or bring more revenue into the county?
Home building right now would be the #1 asset for our county.
Okay.
But also, a person needs to sit and look at small private business people that have a good line ahead of them, and we can do a little research on their background to make sure that they will represent our county better than what they come away from.
Okay.
And that, to me, that is my biggest point that I have.
Okay.
Good.
Let's see. How do you view the role of county staff, such as the planning director and the county counselor, in terms of their interaction with the planning commission?
Well, to me, I think that the planning commission could do as much digging and checking before they even recommend that person to the county commission, because in that way, if they can't find a good, respectable reason for them people to be here, I think that it could be passed on to you and Ms. Gerhardt that we don't recommend it for our county.
Okay.
Because the whole ideal of the planning board is to do a lot of checking to make sure that they can be passed on to you instead of putting all the weight on your shoulders saying, well, the planning board said, okay, well, if they just looked at it and said, oh, you're all right. No, that's not how the planning board should work. The planning board should be a group of people that have nothing but respect for this county to move forward instead of bringing something in that will clog our pipes and make us downfall. That's the truth opinion I've got.
So that brings me to the next question is, right now, planning board, they have been meeting almost every 2 weeks. Would you be able to commit to the second Thursday of each month to be here for the meeting? Is that something you can commit to? If you
I can guarantee, because
Okay.
I figure a person that is on that planning board should have nothing but the willpower to make knowledge and make everything move forward to better this county than sitting there saying and not do nothing.
Okay, I appreciate that, because that's important when people get put on boards, that if they're gonna be on the board, show up, right?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead, Mark.
In what geographic area of the county is there the most concern about development?
To me, I would say, if I was looking right now, the biggest development we got is, to me, basically on the east side of 75 from County County to about Jackson Heights. And then it expands to kind of a dismal area from Jackson Heights north to the county line. Because it's one of those, from what I'm seeing, it is playing basically somber, because the biggest thing that I'm seeing going on, basically from Circleville Soldier up in that area, is a great big farm organization, and I don't know, I haven't got to do a lot of research on it, but they're buying tons and tons of ground to make this farm situation bigger up in that area. And I don't have no problem with it, but I think that they need to be checked out before they come in and start putting in 5,000 head cattle. Because just the produce and the smell alone, to me, it could be checked out before it's okay.
Okay.
And I would think that it does have to be okay before they can do something like that. I don't know for sure, because I haven't checked into it, but I know I've done a lot of research on different things, because I'm one of those, I'm not going to blow smoke up somebody's chimney just because it looks good.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you can't get any kind of background on it, how can you legally or liably say that it will promote Jackson County? You can't.
Okay.
And that's where my problem is.
Sure. Yeah, a lot of times on large facilities like what you're talking about, KDHE gets involved and they do studies, and they make sure that wastewater and treatment and all that kind of stuff. And then we just take their recommendation based on what they do. My last question, are you related to anybody on the planning board or on the Jackson County Commissioners? We just have to ask that if there's conflict of interest.
Well,
Are you related to anybody on the?
not that I know of.
Okay.
All right.
I might have a ghost lingering around in a room, but I don't think I'm related to anybody.
All right. And then along with that question, are you connected or part of any organization that would cause you bias in any way of being on that board? So I'm going to use this as a kind of a silly example, but if you were on the I Hate Walmart group, that would keep you from, if Walmart wanted to put a distribution center here, that type of, any kind of organization that would prevent you from making a decision.
No, because I look at the situation, as long as they can produce just cause,
Yep.
and it's not going to be a burden to this county stepping forward, then I would say more power to them.
Okay.
But the biggest thing that, to me, that I would see as a burden would be bringing in a lot of super low housing that's, you know, everybody says, well, they need to be able to,
Well, quality buildings.
yeah, if they're going to do it, make it quality until it's equal to anybody instead of just a certain group.
All right. Perfect. I don't have any more questions.
Okay, thank you, Ernie. I appreciate you coming out.
Thanks, Ernie.
And
Appreciate it.
Mark or the treasurer's office, or treasurer's office, the clerk's office will let you know
That's
your
cool.
decision.
Yep.
Thanks for
All right.
listening to me.
Thank you very much.
Yep.
I think Trevor's there.
Yep. Okay, all right.
Hey, Trevor.
Hey,
Come on in,
how's it
Joey.
going?
Good, how are you?
Good.
Grab a seat.
Anywhere you want, any here.
Hi, Doug.
Before we get started, did you?
And Doug, you're welcome to set in here if you
Meeting
want
that
to.
KDOT's gonna have,
You're welcome.
some lights.
Set
I
in here.
did,
Okay, so you got your invite for that?
yes.
Okay.
I did, and our transportation director is also planning to
Good.
go out there.
All right, sounds good.
Very cool.
All right, well, as I stated before, Doug, you can hear me now, so I won't have to go through this spiel again. We've got just a set of questions, and it's very informal. We try to ask the same questions to each one of the candidates, so, we're not pulling any surprises on anybody. It's just that way we got kind of a,
It's just a list. and
yeah, it's just a list.
We may hit them all, or we may not hit them.
Yeah. So that's just kind of how we do it, and so we've done it since I got on here, just to ask these questions. So anyway, I'll just jump into it then.
Very good.
What is your understanding of the role of the planning board?
I am just diving in and learning a little bit more, but it appears that the planning board is helping to do some of the strategic planning, trying to develop that long-range plan, and then offering guidance to the commissioners who obviously have the ultimate decision-making power. It would be very similar to the way that we operate our district site councils when we're talking about facility planning, long-range planning for the district, but ultimately it's the board of education that needs to make those decisions.
I think you've kind of already answered this question, but give us an idea of a group that you've worked with, collaborated with, to come to a conclusion, how that worked out for you.
Which one?
Yeah.
There you
School board, site council.
Right, all of those.
Yeah.
Our district leadership team.
Yeah.
Most recently, the site council is kind of doing the same thing, so it's probably the most applicable because we have drawn up, as the district, we have drawn up what are the needs of the facility. We brought in some outside groups to do some facility assessment so that we know what are the areas where we need to focus that need to be included in our capital outlay plan. That way, we can measure, here's what we can do based on the revenue and the financial piece that we have. But then I take all that information and I share that with the district site council, which does include a couple of our board members. And they get to give us feedback as our stakeholder groups on what they feel are the high priorities, where should we focus our attention, because sometimes working in the school system, we may not have the same approach to things as our constituents, so we need to balance those two. And then once we get that recommendation, I take that back to the full board and we discuss it, and then there, again, you want to get to act.
So if I can ask a follow-up
Sure.
real quick. So at some point in these boards, you've had some conflict with other individuals. How do you deal with that? How do you approach conflict when you and whoever sitting at the other end of the table don't agree?
It is all in the way that you communicate about those 2 points of view. As an individual, I try to really listen to what is it the other person is saying, because there's always a valid concern.
Sure.
There's always a perspective that we need to consider, even if we know for certain reasons there may be other factors that aren't going to allow us to go in that direction. But I had actually talked to a psychologist once about what do you do in these situations. And so when I advise our board, because they too encounter a lot of conflict,
Sure.
Exactly. It came down to 3 things. Acknowledge that point of view, but then extend it so you can show that, yes, I understand where you're coming from. I empathize with that. But then start to redirect and provide that alternate perspective. That way you're balancing the true concerns that they have. They understand you hear it, but we also have these other factors we need to consider. As individuals for our board, I tell them if you jump straight to the yeah but side, that's when defenses go up and you are going to escalate that conflict. And it doesn't work 100%, you can't always see eye to eye, but it does help to solve it well.
There you go. All right. So, tell us a little bit about yourself and why you're interested in serving on the planning commission and what makes you a strong candidate for the planning board.
Well, I don't know if I'm a strong candidate, but I'll sure try on the other ones. Born and raised in Holton, here in Jackson County. Obviously went out as my life took me in other educational areas, but came back because this is home. So now as the superintendent for 336, I have even more vested interest in the well-being of the community because the impact of the community on the school really determines our success as a school system. And that includes the businesses that are here in town, what revenue and commerce will bring in, or even on the housing development side of things. So there is a little bit of bias there because any bit of benefit that comes to the community, in part, is also going to positively impact the school district. So that is the big focus area that I would have in serving on the commission. Also, I get to balance that with my folks who are farmers. And so sometimes we talk about, well, this is going to positively impact the school, but I understand negatively impact ag. How do we control this?
Sure.
Yeah, and you had mentioned you were superintendent, so I'm just going to ask, from what I know about most superintendents, my best friend was a superintendent for a long time, and some days you're busier than one-armed paper hanger. Do you have time to commit to at least one meeting a month, to be there, to be part of it, to do research, to, I love board members when they show up and they've read the material and they come prepared. I'm sure you do too.
I understand that very well.
So give me your thoughts on that.
I actually talked about that with the board because I didn't want to.
I'm glad you did. That's good.
Yes, I didn't want to even apply. It was something that they weren't supportive of because that is my primary focus. They were very supportive of me running for the board and appreciating that I am, or for the commission, because I am advocating on behalf of the board. But they also acknowledged that they want to be protective of my time, so I'm not getting stretched too thin. But we all came to agreement that we thought that it was something I'd be able to manage, particularly where I have really stepped into the world of AI, and so I am using that to really increase our efficiency in the district office.
Okay.
It's amazing what you can do with AI to summarize information or to go deeper and find more information that you didn't already know.
We've both been to many many seminars at our KC conferences.
Until I told our attorney, I
Yeah.
said, we can almost get rid of you now. Just kidding.
So, yeah.
No, that's the search you do right before you call. It's like,
Chat
here's what I do
GTP.
right now.
Chat GTP.
Yep.
All right.
We're actually using more Gemini in the school. It's a Google product, and as schools, we have full access to Google Suite.
Right.
So it's already integrating with our documents and
Well, there you go. Yeah. All right. Let's see. How do you view the role of county staff, such as the planning director and the county counselor, in terms of their interaction with the planning commission?
That's something I'm probably going to need to learn a little bit more about. I know very well that in organizations you have very clearly, or it's need very clearly defined roles and responsibilities so that everything can function really well. But I would say we probably already have those roles and responsibilities already defined. I just need to get up to speed on those.
Right. Okay.
My current understanding is that the planning commission is more of a taking in the information, evaluating the plan, and then communicating it back. There's no decision-making authority there. We just need to be able to work with the right people appropriately.
Other than just, so if you have somebody come before you that wants to put in a bed and breakfast, so then you guys will take all the information you get, discuss it amongst yourself, talk to Kate, and then who's the planning director appraiser. And then if you need more information, then that's when you can lean on the counselor to ask questions, find something out, and then pass it back to us with your recommendation, either yea or nay.
Very good.
So,
Knew there would be clearly defined roles
Yeah.
in there.
Yeah, it's pretty easy to work with, and Kate makes it
Yeah.
pretty clear.
That's pretty similar then to our teacher bargaining unit come negotiations time.
right.
Yeah. In creating land use about regulation. I asked the last gentleman that was here, how do you see housing in this community? Do you think there's enough? Do you think there should be more? And if so, he and I talked a little bit about just across the county line in County County, they're building houses left and right. But you come across the county line and not so much. Part of that is due to regulation. How do you see that in this community with people who want farmland? I get that, but yet there is a need for housing, for family housing, and we have great schools, we have ample water, and it's a great way of life in this community. So how do you see those things all playing out? I've asked you a lot, but sorry.
No, that is a very fair question, and I would say that just on that topic alone, that is where I got to practice navigating conflict with my own parents. So Dad had worked as the
I can see that.
as the water and wastewater superintendent for years, so
Right.
he has that water aspect, and then of course they have the farm. So farming and the agricultural aspect, and then me working in the schools. I don't know what the fine line is, but I know that all of those need to be represented in the conversation. Eventually, there would have to be some kind of compromise in some facet. My concern from the school side is all of our houses, nearly all of our houses, are entirely full. And when you look at the housing market, things move very quickly because there aren't enough affordable housing options. When we don't have affordable housing options, we're not able to bring in more or younger families. So then we're seeing that negative impact on the schools with declining enrollment. There are fewer than 5% of the schools right now in Kansas that actually have increasing or maintaining enrollment. 95% of schools across the state are losing enrollment. Part of it is the housing aspect. Then balance that with ag. In order to have more housing development, we're going to have to reach some kind of an agreement because that is going to require some city growth. And that is uncomfortable. But I think we see down here, just off the Banner, it appears that they're planning to sell now across the creek on the backside. I don't know how that's currently zoned. I would anticipate that there are some groups who are wanting to turn that into housing. Just my speculation. Then on the water side, we do have 2 reservoirs here. Obviously, we started with Prairie, went to Banner, and that's able to meet our current need. But we would need to make sure that we're working with the right groups closely to monitor that to ensure that we are not overextending ourselves, because now we're looking at more financial costs at increasing your supply of water there. Whether that is adding more size or trying to tackle both.
No, there's no wrong answer. I appreciate your thoughts on it. Because it is, I think it's important to the entire county.
Yep.
Have any other questions?
I just have one. In what geographic area of the county is there the most concern about development?
About development in regard to housing.
In regards to housing, business, whatever.
Well, it's no surprise to anyone right now. Everyone's concerned with the southwest corner and what we're doing in terms of solar. Pros and cons there. I know that is a quick way to stir up the conflict itself, but again, it's one of those areas you have to look at all of the aspects, whether it is revenue, the impact of communities, potential studies on weather impact, things like that. Industry-wise, beyond that, I'm not sure in the county that I have seen any substantial industrial growth in as long as I can recall.
Yeah, Commissioner Pruett just today brought up the fact that Evergy and Terra Company is wanting to build a new nuclear site in Kansas. And so, as a group, the 3 commissioners, we've sent a letter encouraging them to build here.
Gotcha. I saw that article recently.
Yep.
I was thinking though that they were kind of trying to target a specific area.
Right now it's open,
Okay.
which From my research, what they're looking for is transmission lines. They are currently building a nuclear facility in Wyoming, and they're building it close to where a coal-fired plant is going to be retired. Well, I've heard rumors for the last 5 years that, Jeffries is going to be retired. With all the data centers and all that good stuff that's being built right now, that kind of got pushed back from what I heard, but from the information that I've gotten, I've understood that it is going to be retired. So what better place to put it and get it up and running, because the board's got transmission lines in place and everything, so, we'll send them a letter and throw our hat in the ring and see what we can do. So.
Interesting.
So, anyway, I don't have
I don't have any more
questions.
questions. I think I'm good.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Trevor. I do appreciate it.
I appreciate it.
Have a good day.
Yes.
Have a good one.
I'm gonna run back to the school unless you need me for anything else.
Nope,
Perfect.
we're good. We'll let you know when we're at it, okay?
Okay.
All right, thank you. All right, Doug, you're up.
How are you, Doug?
Good afternoon,
Thanks for taking the time.
Appreciate it. So you heard my spiel, so I'm not gonna go through that again.
gentlemen.
I said you heard my spiel, so I'm not gonna go through that again.
Good.
So, all right, so, and you were on the appeal court, okay.
Now,
So you got a basic understanding of how everything works from the countywide, so, okay. So, tell us your experience you've had about collaborating with a group.
Well, probably a couple examples. The very first, really early example was when I believe I was still in college, and I was selected to serve on a jury here. And so that is the prime example of a group of people coming together and collaborating on an issue and coming to a consensus, actually a 100% consent. Well, this was a misdemeanor. I think we were 100% anyway on it. And so that's the prime example early in my life, but since then I worked at Quaker Oats, and we were on a, for lack of a better word, more committee approach for each area of the plan. We had to work together to accomplish the task for the day. And then more recently, for approximately 5 years, I've been on the board of Glacial Hills, and basically we have a lot of different projects going on, and we have to sit down for 2 or 3 hours once a month and discuss pros and cons of issues, and listen to other people's opinions on what they think should happen, and then eventually we get to why. And in many cases, if you have a different opinion, that may change your opinion, and we should come to pretty much uniform consensus on most issues. So I guess it all comes down to listening and trying to figure out what the other one is really saying and why, and just listening.
Okay.
Do you have any conflicts or that may prevent you from making an unbiased decision concerning planning commission agenda items? So I'm going to give you an example, if that's okay.
Sure.
There was a thing that came up in the county that they wanted to rezone for, small little deal, and I thought, boy, we got a bunch of those in the county. From a financial aspect, doesn't seem to make sense to me, but hey, everybody deserves the right to go broke, right? So I can't let my bias affect my opinion. If somebody wants to do that, unless there's a legitimate reason, if that helps.
I'm not sure exactly what you're talking about, but if the project meets the requirements that you guys have set up, I mean, we did have example this is different, but not that different. Some of the appeals board where somebody it's been a while back, he was applying for a hardship thing on a infrastructure here, and I mean, I was the temporary chair at that time, and I looked at the regs and the county set up, and they didn't meet this criteria, and that's basically what we decided. I mean, that is what we decided.
Yeah.
It's sorry, but we don't meet the regs.
Perfect.
Let's see. How do you view the role of county staff, such as the planning director and the county counselor, in terms of their interaction with the planning commission?
Of course, the county councilor is one who go to put actual legal opinions. I may have my own opinion, but, it's just like serving on a jury. I mean, when you go into jury, you take all your experiences and knowledge with you, but in an official matter, you refer to the person you guys have selected. I've worked with Kate, I'm assuming you're talking about, and she seems to be very knowledgeable. If I have a particular thought about something and I differ from her, I'll probably approach her privately and say, what do you think about this? But generally, I find her to be very knowledgeable about the subject.
Are you able to commit to attending the second Thursday of every month and sometimes even more than that with the solar regs going on right now?
I've heard that they're meeting more often, but there's oftentimes of course, we don't meet that often, but oftentimes I think about, well, I'm going an hour early because I'm already going there. So I don't see that as a problem. And I do like to go early if I can, just to know what's going on.
I appreciate that.
Problem.
Okay, in what geographic area of the county is there the most concern about development?
Depends on what development you're kind of talking about. I mean, obviously, the solar project in the southwest has generated a lot of public concerns. One of the things that I think I alluded to in my application is that we need more housing in the community. We need more affordable housing, and the younger people, I think I read the other day that the average age of first purchase was 38. That's ridiculous. Maybe people are trying to buy more house than what I grew up in, of course.
Sure.
That all of us grew up in, right? And that may be an issue that somehow the commission could direct more help towards those people that want to do small houses. I don't know, but I mean, obviously the structure for that is in place in the small towns and more along the Highway 75 border, the south border. So perhaps we need to look at the regulations to figure out if we can do something to facilitate that while still adjusting and compensating for the concerns of people who are concerned about small subdivisions or small acreages.
Yeah, I think you heard me with Trevor there that you go across the county line and they're building houses left and right. You can come into Jackson County and the regulations are a little tighter when it comes to building. And if that's a concern, how do we approach that?
That's one thing I've thought about just recently is that for someone who's never built a house before, it's pretty daunting to look at the requirements and go, okay, I've got to go to this place for this, I've got to go to this place for this, and I didn't get a hold of them, so I got to call them back, and it's just, for someone who's not been doing it before, it's pretty daunting, and so if there's some way that the county could simplify that process, and I don't know, almost like a one-stop shop, so that you've almost got somebody advocating for them to come into the county.
I agree.
And this person will coordinate getting these contacts made. And perhaps I don't know if there's a way to direct, things are so expensive now, and I've been kind of looking at other counties and some of their fees are a lot more than ours, but still, those fees really add up for somebody who's starting out, and I don't know if there's a way to help direct a reduced fee or something else to help these younger people get started.
Yeah, I think you're headed in the right direction, but because it's funny, we just talked about this, we're going to have a special meeting with Kate, a work session, to try to go through some of the regulations. I'm all about making it easier for people and less confusing for people to apply, to get a building permit, or whatever that is. And is there a way that we can make that process easier for folks?
I guess I wasn't reading your mind, but we're thinking the same thing.
Because I think there's always room for improvement when it comes to those types of things. When you deal with it on a daily basis, you know it. But for the average individual, you take a 22-year-old guy or gal that wants to build a house, it can be overwhelming, and you can miss things. And so, yeah, I appreciate the fact that, making them easier to understand is a good thing.
And there's people who don't even know who have zoning codes or building permits. Well, because really a couple of counties around us really don't have much.
No.
And so people come in and they have no idea.
Yeah.
If they come from the city, then, they're more expecting that.
We have over 300 buildings that were built in the last 2 years that were built without building permits, so.
Yep.
Yeah. So,
I don't have anything else for you, Doug.
yeah.
I think we pretty much covered.
I think, for us, we're looking for somebody who can hit the ground running and is willing to work with a group to do what's best for this county. And
I've never had any problem reading stuff and picking up stuff fast. I mean, I started doing that when I was working at the Supreme Court. We had to sort a lot of information fast and looking in the county attorney's office.
that's why I told Trevor, it's best if you come prepared. So that's good. I appreciate that.
Yep. Thank you, Doug. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, Kieran?
Hello, gentlemen.
How are you?
Better than I deserve.
Dave Ramsey fan.
Do what?
A Dave Ramsey fan?
Yeah, no, there's more to it than that. Yep.
All right, I'll give you a little spiel here, and Rex, you're here, so I'll give you probably heard me say this before, but I'll go ahead and do it again.
Okay.
So we've got a list of questions here. If we don't ask them all, we kind of bounce around, and mostly an informal thing. We try to ask the same questions to everybody. We might skip one or, miss one, but pretty much we're trying to keep this all on an even keel so it's all fair to everybody, and we just go from there. So it's informal.
Have a conversation.
Yep, have a conversation. It's informal, so, we'll start off and then we'll just bounce back and forth and go from there. All right? All right. So what is your understanding of the role of the planning board?
So my understanding of the role of the planning board is number one, it reviews applications for changes in zoning and proposed building and construction. The second part of that is it works as a working committee to change regulations or ordinances for the county in order to try to balance what's in the plan for the county against the need for development in the county. So that's my understanding.
Okay.
So give me an idea, Mark and I, Commissioner Pruett, an idea of a group that you've worked with where you had multiple opinions, you had to work with them, and how that worked.
Well, 10 years in the military.
Okay.
That right there is a qualifier. I also worked 20 years at Truman Medical Center as part of the IT department.
Oh.
And that was one of the things we had to do is we opened a lot of small clinics around Kansas City as part of the IT department. We weren't necessarily involved in the regulation end of it. We were more involved in the implementation of meeting Kansas City, Missouri's regulations and the permit changes that were made for these places. I've been on all sorts of working committees in different industries. I did IT, but I've been in healthcare, transportation, DOD, for the Department of Defense for a while, so I've got a lot of experience working with this group.
Okay, so tell us a little bit about yourself and why you're interested in serving on the Planning Commission and what makes you a strong candidate for the Planning Commission.
Well, like I said, we've lived in Jackson County for 4 years now. It's October 1st, we closed our house 4 years ago. One of the reasons that we chose to come here is because of the role is we live in Cass County, Missouri, and one of the things I saw living there for 20 plus years was the amount of development they did. And it was basically no holds barred. And I think that the residents, the people I've talked to in the county, a majority of them are here because of the rules. They don't want to live in the city. That's why they moved out here. And, you know, one thing I've noticed over the last year is trying to build the county up, despite people's efforts or not efforts, but people's desires. And I want to be. My primary concern on this is being somebody who can speak for taxpayers and landowners, so that they've got a say in it. You know, quite frankly, I'm a Gen Xer. I just want to be left alone, right? Unfortunately, because of the way things are panning out here, I have to step up. I have to be involved. I recognize the need for development, right? I did. Sure. I mean, the county budget has almost doubled in the last 10, 15 years, but the county population has not. There's a true need for development, but I don't want to see it done willy-nilly. You know, I don't want to see it run rampant with just chasing dollars. Sure. Right. It needs to be done in a manner that A, protects taxpayers and landowners, and B, helps the county grow in a even manner. Because you know, Cass County, I don't know if you've ever been over there, but you've got industrial parks right next to big farms. Because anybody that wanted a zoning change, they gave it to them and it happened outright. You know, and Belton, Missouri used to be out in the country. When we moved out there, got out of the Marine Corps in 80 or 95, it was out in the country, and now it's a suburb of Kansas City. And Peculiar was way out in the country, and it's almost a suburb of Kansas City. And I do not want to see that in Jackson County.
So a couple things I heard you mention, you just want to be left alone, and I can appreciate that, trust me. How do you feel about landowner rights? If you were to define what landowner rights mean?
As I said in front of the planning committee, property ownership is the key foundation to a free and functioning and prosperous society. And quite frankly, the regulations as they stand, if it were me, I heard you ask Doug, you know, what would I do to make it easier for a homeowner? Mm-hmm. I would reduce regulations. That's what I would do. In fact, one of the truth, my starting point, and I'm open to discussion on this, but my starting point is the only thing that should be regulated by the county, the septic systems, commercial properties, and anything that's identifiable that could affect somebody else's land. You know, and that's like
building too close to the property line,
or wanting to put a CFO, you know, a contained feed type of thing. You know, things like that. Because whenever you start doing this and you start putting development ahead of people's property rights, number one, you're going to alienate people. And I'm going to say that again. You're going to alienate people. And I can tell you right now that there are a bunch of people that feel very alienated right now. And number two, you know, quite frankly, what somebody does on the land should not be in the county's business as long as it's not affecting county property. That's probably the biggest thing. So, I know I've been places where people like build on the easement and then complain about the county. So that's ridiculous.
So, but you do understand, I think that like building permits, the reason we have a building permit is so that we can get that building on the tax roll so that everybody shares in the ad valorem tax, correct?
Yeah, I understand. That's why I said I told you my starting position, and I'm open. Yeah. I'm open to discussion past that.
Yeah, and like we were telling Doug, there's some things in the regulation that we're going to have a work session with Kate to try to make it. So I'm going to use an example. A friend of mine, said, "Why should I have to have a building permit for a 350 square foot chicken coop?" I go, "I agree with you. So let's take a look at that." There's some things that we can do, I think, to make it easier to build in this community or to make the process easier.
Yep.
Um,
Well, you know what, we'll agree on that. How we get there, we'll probably disagree a little bit along the way, but it's, you know, it's a start point. You gotta have that discussion.
Civil discourse, right?
Exactly.
There you go.
Exactly.
How do you view the role of county staff, such as the planning director and the county counselor, in terms of their interaction with the planning commission?
Huh. Well, the planning director obviously can have the direct role in it. They're gonna discuss things, and I assume that the position is a bridge between the commissioners and the working groups for that. And the lawyer, you know, his role is to ensure that they don't do anything that's against the statutes, like state statutes, right? Or anything that the county has put in the statutes.
Okay.
You can run counter to what's in the statutes.
I think you live down the south central part of the.
Off of 158.
Yeah, 158, yeah, Fayette area, that point in that area, yeah. So we asked that, anything you'd like to ask us
No, not off the top of my head.
that deals with it, the process in which we deal with the zoning and planning?
No, not really. It's one of those things where I've looked into what the committee's supposed to do, and I've looked into it. I think a decent handle on it, you know, but it's something, it's like anything else, it's a learning process.
Sure.
You can look at it from the outside until you're in the middle of it. That's when all the nuance comes in.
And you'd be able to commit to at least the second Thursday of each month, that's when they have their meetings, be able to commit to that.
What time?
I think they're meeting at 6.
Oh, in the evening. No problem.
Yeah.
No problem.
And the other thing I asked Trevor, I said, you know, it's important if you're gonna be a board member, especially right now with all the stuff going on with solar regulations and stuff, there's a lot to read, there's a lot to understand, so showing up prepared and ready to go for the meeting is important. I think that's important with whatever board you may sit on.
Right. You can't come in blind.
For sure.
I just have one more question. Do you have any conflicts that may prevent you from making an unbiased decision concerning planning commission agenda items?
Conflicts of interest. Not that I can think of.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure if I thought hard enough,
Sure.
I could figure something out.
No, that's perfect. All right.
I don't have any questions. Thank you for being here.
No problem.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Appreciate you taking time out of your day.
Hi, Rex.
How are you?
Great. How are you?
Well, I almost missed it, I was going to come in and talk to you guys because somehow my application got misplaced and I was able to go in and talk to Christy today and present to her. She hadn't seen it, so guess what? Here I am.
There you go. Jump right in.
You're up.
So you heard my spiel. So what's your understanding of the role of the planning board?
Well, that's to enforce what I think should be is that our comprehensive plan that we already have in place, we need to follow that and be able to provide assistance to get people a building permit and giving them the opportunity to know what the rules and regulations are and providing zoning if that fits in our comprehensive plan.
Okay.
Give me an example, or Mark and I, an example of a board or a group that you've sat on where you've had to work with other individuals and
Sure.
how that worked out.
Okay, so I was on the city commission from 94 to 97. As a founding member of the JaCo Economic Corporation.
I don't think I knew that.
93 to 97. So there are 2 boards I've been on. Attend a lot of meetings, you know that I'm always in a meeting. I haven't talked to you.
Okay. Let's see. Do you have any conflicts that may prevent you from making an unbiased decision concerning planning commission agenda items?
And I'm probably one of the most versed people. I've been to a lot of the solar meetings, workshops, been to several of them. I'm really up to speed on the solar. I don't have any problems.
Okay.
And you're able to, since you've been coming to a lot of the meetings, I'm assuming you'd be able to meet
Sure.
on the second
Sure.
of Thursday and come
Opportunity,
here.
opportunity to speak.
There you go.
And you just heard me ask Aaron, how do you view the role of county staff such as Kate, planning director, and county counselor in terms of their interaction with the planning commission?
I think that Kate is the person who needs to bring information to us so we can make a qualified decision. That's the whole, she needs to bring information in, she needs to have homework around so the board can make a decision without any questions about that. And county counselor actually provided it with us. In all the meetings I've been to, I've been to a lot of zoning meetings, I have not had the opportunity to see the county counselor there, but she's taking care of it for him.
Yeah, usually take care of it beforehand, and we usually don't bring him in unless there's something gonna be something super special that they're gonna have questions asked, leave the questions asked, because they're, we're having to pay for coming up there and doing it, so.
Absolutely.
Give me an example of where you've reached a consensus by compromise.
I compromise. Well, it might be back in the city commission days and the comprehensive plan days as far as in a group. We had to be able to move forward. We had to pick an economic development director. We had to decide how we want to move forward. So there's a lot of work hand in hand on that.
Okay.
In creating land use code, do you favor regulations that are strict, little no room for interpretation, or flexible, room for interpretation?
Yeah, it's interesting because I was raised in Jackson County, been here all my life, and always dealt with zoning, and I had no idea until a few years ago that Jackson County, Brown County, Seneca, Nemaha County, they don't have zoning.
Yeah.
So it's a completely different world. I don't know how they exactly exist after without zoning rules and regulations. I mean, you have to have some rules and regulations what people do and can't. I mean, you can't just have it open. So, back to our comprehensive plan. Our comprehensive plan lays out what we do with our different areas of our land, highway service districts, farmland, all that type of stuff. So I think, we've got a pretty good comprehensive plan in place. Just to follow.
Yeah, and do you think that comprehensive plan over time needs to be updated?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I've asked others, Trevor was in here, and Doug, and asked them about the housing situation in this county and how you feel about that. You heard me talk about 94th Street and Shawnee County side versus our side.
I'm a landlord in Holton. Got several houses, and some of my houses are just sitting vacant because the quality of the tenants. We may have a housing shortage, but we also have houses sitting vacant in town. A lot of tenants tear houses up, more so than what they think. I can name several landlords who are sitting on houses because we don't want to go and get them tore up and have to fix them. So good tenants have a great opportunity for a place to live here. As far as the 94th corridor, I think our difference may be a little bit different down there. I think we need to promote the quality of life here. That's something that we've had. We can't replace quality of life. And a gentleman before us, he was talking about how Cass County had really boomed and things. I don't want to see that here. I want to see quality of life here. And back to something you were talking about earlier as far as the kids and stuff. We have an opportunity to provide our kids the same opportunity we have. We need to give, and we've talked about this before, we need to give our kids the opportunity we have to provide them a good place to live and quality of life. We can't replace quality of life we have. We need to start out in schools, and we need to start keeping the kids in here. We need to keep them in the county. We don't need to have them moving out as soon as they are going someplace else for better jobs. We need to promote that area, get jobs here that we can afford to stay here. And there's a good example of what we need to do. And one of the questions I wished you were going to ask is, what would I do to bring economic development here? And so that's something that we all need to sit down as a community. My thought has been, we've talked about it before, is what I call a think tank strategy. You need to get the banker with the money, you get the developer who has the land, you get the construction operator, you get the dirt mover, you get all the people in place, a member from the county commission, the city commission, you get all these people together, sit down and have a monthly meeting, over breakfast or whatever, and throw out ideas. Anytime that you've got a group of people that are movers and shakers, sit down and talk to you, you're going to get an idea popped up. And I think that's the only way it works in other areas. I've seen it work in other areas. I think that's one thing that we're really missing on. And the other thing I think we're missing on is that we don't have a focal point for somebody to go to. If I was going to come into town, I was going to build a business, where would I go to? Or if I come into the county, I drive by and I say, wow, the county's got everything built for us, it's got casinos, it's got water, it's got this, the 4-lane highway, we've got everything. Who do I go talk to?
You'd have to go talk to the chamber right now.
Right. Well, they open all the time, there's part-time.
Part-time?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I understand.
how do we draw that in without having a group? We had an economic County area, I believe, right? So how do we do that? But we don't want to spend a bunch of money for that, but how do we get that done? And see, there again, sitting down and talking about how we do it. And that's where we need to go. We need to promote business. You guys, we've talked about it before, but twice. You guys got to come up with Untitled County. Everybody's do that. And the best way to do is have more people paying, more people generating money.
So it's a great segue to my next question. Do you think that you talked about quality of life and your kids staying here, and those types of things? A lot of people work in Shawnee County, but want to live in Jackson County. Do you think there's a compromise between growth of our incorporated cities and farming community and what you call quality of life and whatever people want? Do you think there could be a compromise in that?
Sure there is. But it's got to be controlled. And I guess me and you probably differ a little bit. You guys might be in favor of the 3-acre tract. I'm not in favor of it. I'll be right up front. I'm more in favor of the 20-acre tract because housing does not generate that much income as far as tax revenue, I don't believe. The first thing you got to do is provide the kids the school system, and you can provide them the roads they're going to build on. You got to provide this for 11% of the tax valuation. Commercial side of it, you get 30%. So my theory is, we got to provide housing for people. That's a given. But I think we need to look at more of the commercial side, not big business, not the smaller businesses that's going to employ 5 to 10 people, 20 people. We need to expand what we have. If you go to other communities like Seneca, Sabetta, and I don't want to harp on that, but them people have got a great map of where we're going and where we're going.
And let me back up here, and I would say this: if you go and look at most of the businesses in Seneca, Sabetta area, number one thing you got going is you got the railroad stuff going through there. That's the first thing I always say. And any of these towns along here, Hiawatha, Sabetta, Seneca, Marysville, they've got the railroad going through. That's the first thing that we lost Rock Island. They also, if you look at most of the businesses up there, most of their major employers up there are homegrown.
Sure.
Now, the ones that have sold out to other entities, bigger entities, guess what? They closed.
Right. And that's where we need to promote what we have here. We need to grow what we got. And I told you guys this before, it's a little community out in the middle of Alaska, and we want to flourish, put a brand new road system into it, put in a great reservoir system, put in a new hospital, new library, new school, and then, let's get in some entertainment. Let's put in a casino. Let's just put in 3 casinos. You're going to say a little town in the middle of Alaska is going to flourish and grow. We've got all them things already for us, and we haven't grown yet. So my point of being sitting in this chair here talking to you today is we need to do some promoting.
Okay.
Bottom line.
All right.
You got any more questions for me?
I don't believe so.
I don't think so.
Thank you for letting me speak.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks, Rex. Hung on to these.
Okay, last questions? Aren't you glad I did it?
I forgot we had those. I probably threw them away. Got 3 positions.
I know. I know.
But, Kara, who's captain? Excuse me.
I think that was a good thing.
You don't want to go all three?
I don't know. I'm hesitant for some of the answers that were given.
Okay, I'll just be frank, I don't care who did.
Sure.
I thought Ernie gave really much better questions or answers than I thought. I'm okay with it. I'm okay with him. You know,
Some of the answers that he gave, I was not comfortable with.
I don't know if we're going to be.
Yeah, you're not going to be 100% comfortable, but I was just, I don't know, I was not comfortable with some of the answers he gave.
And if I go to Trevor, I asked this question, but I am concerned about his time constraints.
Mm-hmm.
Doug, I think Doug will be at every meeting and he'll be prepared.
Yep.
But those are my three.
Okay. Well, I had Trevor and Doug, and I'm just a little hesitant on the other two.
Well,
Let Linda look them over.
I think the sooner we can let them know, I think the better, since I think the next meeting's the 13th of November, so.
Is that what it is?
Yeah. That's Thursday. So. If you want to call her right now, talk to her, is she available?
I think she was going to the doctor or something. Right. Early. So,
I'll leave that up to you. You can have the clerk's office reach out to her and get her thoughts on the three and know where we're at and go from there. If I'm completely frank, I'm a little concerned about how, ChatGPT or any of those AI things, they're good, they're a good tool, but I sure wouldn't want somebody leaning on them for everything.
no.
I didn't say that, but I thought, that's great if you're using it as a tool, but if you're using it to do a lot of work, that would be a concern.
Well, I'll tell you what, I wish we had some kind of a economic development for Rex on, so I think he would be good on that. But he's leaning too much on the economic development for this.
I agree.
So, I'll agree that, let's give Ernie a try and see what he does. Okay?
Ernie, Trevor, and Doug?
Yep.
Yeah, I think they'll work fine. And it gives, that's getting two people representing this end of the county, the center section, and one down the south end. And I think that's good to spread that around a little bit. Otherwise, you'd have all three from basically inside of Holton City. Doug's, is he less than 3 miles out?
If he's at home place, no. It's farther than that.
Okay.
I'm not sure where he lives at now, but if he's at home place, no, he's farther out.
Okay.
So. All right, you'll let him know. Thank you.
And then the others, you'll let them know that they weren't selected. Thank you, Doug.
All right. Any further business today?
I have none.
Linda? Oh, Linda's not here.
She doesn't have it.
All right. I entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second, it's been probably moved and seconded to adjourn this meeting. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carried.